The late afternoon arrives quietly, softly, without fanfare. The sun has begun its gradual descent across the sky, spreading a warmer, gentler light. Shadows grow longer, stretching across streets and courtyards, curving softly around walls and doorways. The glow is calm, steady, and comforting, coloring everything in muted tones of gold and amber. The air begins to cool slightly, carrying the subtle shift of day moving toward evening. It drifts lazily along streets and between buildings, brushing softly against walls, sweeping through open windows and gliding across the surfaces of quiet homes. Inside, routines adjust with the changing light. Meals may be prepared again, simple bread, some fruit, perhaps a modest stew. The movements of preparation are slow and deliberate. Hands arrange, chop, stir, and fold with quiet intention. Every action has a rhythm, a repetition that brings calm. In kitchens, the hearth glows gently, casting soft, flickering light across walls and surfaces. The faint clinking of pots and utensils is part of the quiet background music of the home. Children, if awake, move with languid calm. They trace simple patterns on stone floors, stack small objects, or move slowly with toys or household tools. Their sounds, tiny footsteps, soft laughs, gentle voices, blend into the gentle atmosphere. Outside, the streets carry on with quiet motion. People walk along worn paths, steps measured and calm. Stones beneath their feet echo faintly, each sound fading quickly into the warm afternoon. Vendors adjust their goods, moving fruit, cloth, or pottery slowly, deliberately. Each small sound contributes to the gentle rhythm of the city. A man carries water, careful and measured, the vessel swaying softly in his hands. The sloshing is subtle, gentle, in harmony with the surrounding quiet. Animals move with slow ease. Dogs stretch in the sun, rolling or stretching lazily before wandering on. Chickens cluck softly as they peck at the ground. Birds move through the air, singing faintly, their songs drifting lazily over rooftops and streets. Each movement is unhurried, blending into the calm fabric of the city. Courtyards reflect the shifting sunlight. Pools of water shimmer gently. Leaves sway softly in the warm afternoon breeze. People pause briefly, perhaps to adjust something, perhaps to rest for a moment, their movements calm and fluid. Inside homes, tasks continue with soft focus. Cloth is folded carefully, baskets organized, small jars or utensils adjusted. There is no rush, no urgency, only steady, deliberate motion that carries the day forward naturally. In the streets, gentle interactions take place. Soft greetings, a nod here, a small exchange of words there, each voice low, calm, unhurried. The conversation does not demand attention. It merges into the quiet chorus of movement, creating a balanced, peaceful soundscape. The sun continues its descent, touching new surfaces. Stone glows warmly. Walls radiate gentle color. Shadows lengthen, bending and softening with each passing moment. Light and shade shift so slowly that the change is nearly imperceptible, yet it brings a sense of depth and calm to the city. A baker kneads dough slowly, his hands pressing, folding and turning in a quiet rhythm. The faint scent of flour drifts through open streets. A woman tends herbs or washes small items, her motions fluid and careful. Everything moves in steady, gentle repetition. Time stretches in the late afternoon. It feels slower, heavier, yet still soft and calm. Every footstep, every gesture, every soft sound becomes part of the quiet continuity of life. The streets, homes, courtyards, and gardens hold a steady rhythm. Life is deliberate, measured, and familiar. The day continues in this slow, unbroken flow. Light shifts, air moves, shadows grow, and the warmth of the sun mingles with the cool hints of the approaching evening. And within this gentle unfolding, the city remains peaceful, calm, and reassuringly steady. Life in ancient Rome moves quietly, predictably, comfortably, one deliberate step at a time. The afternoon gradually softens, giving way to the first hints of evening. The sun lowers gently in the sky, spreading a warm amber light across rooftops, streets, and courtyards. Shadows stretch long and soft, curling slowly around walls and doorways, blending into one another with subtle gradients. The warmth of the day remains, but it is no longer sharp or pressing. Instead, it rests calmly on the city. The air has cooled slightly, carrying a quiet, gentle freshness. It drifts along streets and through open windows, brushing lightly against stone walls, rustling leaves, and flowing over quiet courtyards. Its movement is slow, almost imperceptible, yet it is comforting, bringing a sense of calm as the day moves toward evening. Inside homes, daily routines adjust naturally. A simple meal is prepared if it has not been eaten already. Bread is sliced carefully. Cheese and fruit are arranged on a small table. Perhaps some olives or a modest stew are set beside them. Each action is slow and deliberate. The soft sounds of preparation, cutting, placing, stirring, blend into the quiet atmosphere of the house. The hearth glows gently, a steady source of warmth and light. The faint sound of simmering pots adds to the subtle symphony of the household. Children, if still awake, engage in slow, quiet play. They move carefully, tracing patterns in dust or arranging small objects. Their movements are calm, their voices soft. Each small sound joins the gentle rhythm of life that fills the home. Outside, the streets have settled into a slower pace. Footsteps echo softly on worn stone paths. Each step is measured, deliberate. Vendors adjust their goods with care, moving fruit, cloth, or pottery quietly, almost rhythmically. The soft sounds of daily life, clinks, shuffles, murmured greetings, blend into a calm, steady harmony. Water continues to flow from fountains. Men and women carry it slowly, their movements unhurried, balanced, deliberate. The faint splash of water adds a gentle musical note to the quiet streets. Animals follow the same slow rhythm. Dogs stretch and wander in the waning light. Chickens peck softly, moving leisurely across courtyards. Birds call faintly to one another, their voices blending with the gentle hum of human activity. Each sound, each movement merges into the calm, steady pulse of the city. Courtyards shimmer in the soft glow of evening. Pools of water reflect the sky, rippling gently with the lightest breeze. Leaves sway lazily. Someone pauses briefly in their chores, perhaps to adjust a basket, fold a piece of cloth, or simply take a quiet moment to breathe. Their movement is fluid, calm, and unhurried. Inside homes, tasks continue softly. Cloth is folded, baskets are organized, small jars are checked and adjusted. Each motion is deliberate and careful. There is no rush, no urgency, only the quiet flow of daily life moving steadily forward.
In the streets, interactions are brief and gentle. Soft greetings are exchanged. Voices remain low and calm. Each word, each gesture fits naturally into the rhythm of the city, contributing to a gentle, peaceful atmosphere. The sun continues to sink, casting longer, warmer shadows. Light moves slowly across walls, stones, and courtyards. Surfaces glow softly. Shadows stretch and bend gradually, creating a sense of quiet depth. A baker kneads dough, the motion steady and rhythmic. A woman tends her herbs, arranging them with care. Every gesture, every movement flows naturally, blending seamlessly into the larger pattern of life. Time feels slower now. The late afternoon stretches, almost timeless. Every footstep, every soft sound, every motion becomes part of the quiet continuity of life. The city, homes, and streets move together in steady, gentle harmony. Life is deliberate, measured, familiar, and comforting. The sun drifts toward the horizon, kending its warmth with the soft coolness of the approaching evening. Shadows deepen, stretching gently across walls and streets. And within this slow, steady unfolding, the city remains peaceful, calm, and serene. Life in ancient Rome flows softly, predictably, gently, one quiet moment at a time.
Evening settles softly over the city. The sun dips lower, moving toward the horizon with a slow, deliberate grace. Its light, now warmer and softer, bathes rooftops, walls, and streets in muted shades of gold and amber. Shadows stretch long and gentle, curling along walls, beneath eaves, and across cobblestone streets. The city is calm, bathed in a tranquil glow that invites quiet and reflection. The air cools further, carrying the subtle promise of night. A light breeze drifts lazily through streets and courtyards, brushing leaves and stirring the faint scent of herbs and evening meals. The movement is slow and barely noticeable, yet it brings a soothing presence to the city. Inside homes, routines begin to wind down. Meals for the day are finished. Breadcrumbs remain on small tables. Jars of water and oil sit in their usual places. A pot, emptied or nearly so, rests quietly on the hearth. The soft clinking of dishes being washed, the gentle folding of cloth, the arranging of small objects, these motions are calm, familiar, and unhurried. The hearth glows steadily, its light flickering gently against walls and floors. Shadows dance slowly, moving with the warmth of the fire. The faint smell of smoke and embers blends with the scent of the day's remaining food, creating a subtle, comforting aroma. Children, if still awake, move quietly, almost lazily. Their small movements, tracing patterns in dust, stacking stones, handling toys, are soft and measured. Their laughter, quiet and brief, fades into the calm rhythm of the evening. Outside, the streets have become slower, quieter. Footsteps echo lightly on stone paths. Each step is deliberate, measured, blending seamlessly with the faint murmur of conversation or the gentle flapping of birds returning to roost. Vendors have packed away their goods. The soft clatter of shutters closing and the sliding of cloth coverings mark the final stages of the day's activity. Water still flows gently from fountains. Some carry it home, their steps slow, deliberate, and careful. The faint swish of water is soothing, becoming part of the evening's soft soundtrack. Animals move with unhurried ease.
Dogs stretch out on warm stones or wander lazily through quiet courtyards. Chickens settle among the stones, their clucks soft and low. Birds perch silently, preening feathers, or call faintly to each other in slow, measured tones. Their presence adds a gentle vitality to the peaceful streets. Courtyards and gardens shimmer in the soft light of early evening. Pools of water reflect the amber sky, rippling gently when disturbed by the breeze. Leaves sway slowly. A person pauses to adjust a small object, fold a cloth, or simply enjoy a moment of calm. Every movement flows naturally into the rhythm of the city. Homes are quiet, filled with soft motions. Cloth is folded and stored. Baskets are organized. Lamps are prepared for the approaching night. Every action is deliberate and soothing. There is no rush, no urgency, only the continuity of daily life moving gently toward its natural rest. In the streets, soft greetings are exchanged. Voices are low, calm, unhurried. Each interaction, brief or fleeting, contributes to the slow, harmonious rhythm that fills the city. The sun continues its slow descent, painting the city in deeper, warmer tones. Stone glows gently, walls radiate soft color, and shadows lengthen even more. Light and dark shift gradually, creating a comforting, enveloping atmosphere. A baker or cook may finish tidying their hearth, the last motions of work smooth and rhythmic. A woman checks her small garden, adjusts herbs or flowers, and steps back, observing the gentle quiet around her. Every gesture, every small movement fits naturally into the larger flow of life. Time feels expansive now. The late evening stretches out, unhurried and serene. Every step, every motion, every quiet sound forms part of the calm, steady pulse of the city. The streets, courtyards, and homes all move together in a gentle, deliberate harmony. Life is measured, familiar, peaceful. The sun nears the horizon, sending one final warm glow across the city. The air carries the soft coolness of approaching night, blending with the fading warmth of day. Shadows stretch long and soft, enwrapping the city in a calm embrace. And in this quiet unfolding, the city remains serene, gentle, and restful. Life in ancient Rome flows slowly, predictably, and quietly, one peaceful moment at a time.
Night begins its quiet descent over the city. The sun has dipped below the horizon, leaving only a gentle glow on the edges of the sky. Hues of amber and soft pink fade gradually into muted blues and deepening gray. Shadows stretch long, soft and indistinct, folding over rooftops, walls, and quiet streets. The warmth of the day lingers, subtle and gentle, but the air carries a faint coolness, hinting at the coming night. The city breathes slowly, settling into calm. Inside homes, lamps are lit one by one, small flames flickering softly in clay holders. Their light glows gently across walls and floors, dancing quietly in rhythm with the flicker. The soft smell of burning oil mingles with lingering scents of food and herbs, creating a comforting, peaceful atmosphere. Families gather quietly in rooms, moving with slow deliberation. Simple tasks remain: folding cloth, checking small containers, arranging objects carefully in their places. The motions are unhurried, familiar, and soothing.
The subtle sound of hands brushing against fabric, jars being set down, or soft steps across wooden floors forms a gentle rhythm that echoes softly through the evening. Children, if awake, play quietly. Small movements, soft murmurs, the faint scratch of a stick tracing patterns in dust, all these fill the home with gentle life, never loud, never urgent. Outside, the streets are calm, mostly empty now. A few figures walk slowly, perhaps returning home, steps soft on worn stone paths. Every sound is measured, deliberate. Voices are low, almost whispers, blending into the quiet night. Vendors have closed their stalls, cloth coverings drawn across goods. The final movements of the day are slow and peaceful. Water from fountains trickles steadily. A few carry it home, movements calm, careful, measured. The faint sound of sloshing water is subtle, soothing, and steady. Animals adjust to the evening's quiet. Dogs settle in corners or on warm stones. Chickens and smaller birds roost, settling for the night. Larger birds call softly to each other before falling silent. All movements are slow, natural, and unhurried. Courtyards and gardens take on a soft, muted tone in the dim light. Pools of water reflect faint colors from the fading sky. Leaves sway gently in the cool evening breeze. Small motions, someone adjusting a basket, closing shutters, tending a small plant, blend seamlessly into the calm rhythm of life. Homes are nearly still. The hearth glows softly, providing warmth and light. Simple, familiar chores are completed. Lamps are filled, doors are closed gently, and furniture is arranged in quiet order. Each action flows naturally into the next, forming a gentle, unbroken sequence. Even the streets, though quiet, seem to breathe with a soft rhythm. Footsteps are rare, but measured and calm. The faint murmur of voices blends with subtle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, the quiet trickle of water. Together, these sounds form a slow, steady, peaceful pulse. Time slows as night deepens. Shadows stretch across walls and streets, softening every edge. The air grows cooler, carrying the faint scent of herbs, earth, and lingering warmth from the day. Every movement, every sound, every flicker of light seems deliberate, gentle, and unhurried. The city rests. Families settle into quiet rooms. Children sleep softly. Pets curl up in corners. Courtyards and streets empty gradually, leaving only the subtle sounds of evening. A distant splash of water, a soft creak of a shutter, a faint call of an animal. Life in ancient Rome continues in calm, familiar rhythm, even as the world becomes quieter. The city holds a steady, gentle pulse, measured, predictable, peaceful. And as darkness deepens, the streets, homes, and courtyards rest, wrapped in the gentle rhythm of slow, quiet life. Night has fully embraced the city. Life moves softly, deliberately, and quietly, one gentle moment at a time.
Night has deepened fully over the city now. The sky is a soft, muted indigo, fading into gentle gray toward the horizon. Stars begin to appear, faint and distant, scattered across the vast expanse above. The light from the sun is gone, leaving only the soft glow of lamps flickering within homes, casting gentle, dancing shadows across walls and floors. The air is cool and calm, moving slowly through streets, courtyards, and open windows. It brushes softly against stone and wood, leaves and fabric, carrying a faint, soothing scent of earth and herbs. Its touch is subtle, nearly imperceptible, yet it adds a sense of calm to the quiet city. Inside homes, quiet continues. Families have settled into the slow rhythm of evening. Some sit quietly, tending small tasks, folding cloth, arranging baskets, or checking containers of oil and water. Every motion is deliberate, soft, unhurried, blending naturally into the calm atmosphere. The hearth glows gently, a comforting presence in dim rooms. Its warmth spreads slowly, softening the cool air. The faint crackle of embers is rhythmic and steady, a gentle heartbeat of evening life. Children, if still awake, move with slow, careful motions. Tiny footsteps, soft whispers, small gestures, all blend seamlessly into the peaceful rhythm of the home. They settle gradually, curling in blankets, their movements becoming slower, heavier, quieter. Sleep draws them gently, naturally, without rush or struggle. Outside, the streets are nearly empty. Footsteps are rare, soft, and careful. A distant voice carries faintly, low and calm. The city itself has become still, but it does not feel silent. There is a quiet hum to everything, the subtle trickle of water from fountains, the faint creak of shutters or doors, the whisper of leaves in the evening breeze. Animals adjust to the deepening night. Dogs settle on warm stones, curling in soft coils. Chickens rest quietly in their coops. Birds perch silently, still and calm. Even the smallest movements, an insect crawling, a leaf drifting, become part of the gentle rhythm that fills the quiet city. Courtyards and open spaces reflect the faint light of lamps and stars. Pools of water shimmer subtly, mirroring the sky above. Leaves sway in gentle, unhurried motions, touched by the soft evening breeze. Someone may pause briefly, tending to a small task, moving slowly and carefully before returning to stillness. Time seems slower now, stretched gently by the calm rhythm of night. Every footstep, every faint sound, every soft flicker of light blends into the steady pulse of the city. Life continues, deliberate and measured, even as the world grows darker and darker. The streets, homes, and courtyards are wrapped in a gentle embrace of stillness. People rest, families breathe softly, children sleep, pets curl in corners. The city itself seems to sigh, resting from the activities of the day. Shadows deepen further, walls take on muted tones, and the air carries a steady, soothing coolness. Every motion is small, deliberate, slow, blending seamlessly into the natural rhythm of life. Even the faintest sounds, the trickle of water, the soft brush of wind against leaves, a distant footstep, are comforting. Each becomes part of the evening's unbroken flow, forming a soft, continuous lullaby for the city. Life in ancient Rome moves quietly, predictably, peacefully, one soft, measured moment at a time. Night stretches across rooftops and streets, blanketing the city in calm and gentle stillness. The city rests, and within this stillness, everything continues, slowly, deliberately, comfortably. Late night descends fully upon the city. The sky above is deep, a quiet navy stretching endlessly, scattered faintly with stars. Their light is soft and distant,
gentle points in the darkness, barely glimmering against the vast calm of the heavens. The air is cool and steady, moving slowly, brushing softly across rooftops, walls, and empty streets. Every surface is touched with a muted stillness, as if the city itself is breathing softly in sleep. Inside homes, quiet deepens. Families have settled fully into rest. The faint glow of lamps illuminates small spaces, flickering gently across walls and floors. The light is soft, warm, calm. Shadows dance slowly, stretching and bending in rhythm with the flame, offering a quiet, hypnotic presence. Hearths glow with gentle warmth. The crackle of embers is slow and steady, a quiet heartbeat against the stillness of night. Perhaps a pot cools slowly beside it, its faint scent lingering, a reminder of the day's last meal. Children sleep quietly. Their breathing is steady, rhythmic, soft. They curl in blankets or on mats, movements minimal, peaceful, relaxed. Their small, gentle noises blend with the ambient sounds of the night, the faint trickle of water, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant call of a night bird. Outside, the streets are quiet, almost empty. Footsteps are rare, soft, measured. Voices are distant and low, merging with the gentle sounds of the evening. The city is calm, balanced, and peaceful. Each faint sound carries lightly, echoing softly off stone walls and cobblestones before fading gently into the night. Animals move in harmony with the stillness. Dogs lie quietly on warm stones or curled in small corners. Chickens are silent, resting in coops. Birds perch high, still and calm. Even the smallest creatures, mice, insects, move softly, almost imperceptibly, becoming part of the gentle rhythmic heartbeat of the night. Courtyards and gardens shimmer faintly. Pools of water catch the faint glow of distant lamps or the stars above, rippling slowly when touched by a light breeze. Leaves move gently in soft currents of air. Someone might pause in a doorway or near a fountain, completing a final quiet task, arranging a basket, straightening a cloth, or simply standing and breathing in the calm air before returning to stillness. Time seems suspended. Every sound, every motion, every breath merges into the slow, soothing rhythm of late night. The city moves steadily, deliberately, comfortably, though barely at all. The streets, homes, and courtyards are all wrapped in quiet, gentle darkness. Soft light flickers across walls, shadows stretch and bend. The air is calm, carrying the faint sense of cooling stone, lingering herbs, and warm embers. Life continues quietly, deliberately, slowly, one measured moment at a time. Even in the absence of activity, there is movement, the gentle rise and fall of breath, the faint trickle of water, the whisper of wind through leaves, the soft settling of stone and wood. These small, subtle motions form the quiet pulse of a city at rest. The night holds everything softly. The streets, walls, courtyards, and homes are wrapped in stillness. The city rests completely, moving only in the smallest, most gentle motions. And in this gentle unfolding, life in ancient Rome continues, slow, predictable, and peaceful. Every shadow, Every flicker of light, every subtle sound blends into a steady rhythm. The world is calm. The city is calm. The night is calm. The deepest hours of night settle over the city. The sky is a soft, dark velvet, studded with faint, distant stars. Their light is cool, steady, and unhurried, barely noticeable, casting a faint shimmer on rooftops, walls, and pools of water. The city is wrapped in quiet, complete stillness. The air is cool, calm, and gentle, drifting slowly along streets, through open windows, and across empty courtyards. It carries the faint sense of earth, herbs, and cooling stone, subtle and soothing. Inside homes, sleep is universal. Breathing is slow, steady, and rhythmic. Families lie quietly on mats or in simple beds. Children rest deeply, their small movements slow and occasional. Pets curl in corners, warm and still. Hearths, if still glowing, cast a faint flicker across walls, moving softly with the rhythm of the fire. Each tiny sound, each motion, contributes to the steady, comforting pulse of the night. Outside, streets are nearly motionless. Footsteps are rare, almost imperceptible. Perhaps a single person moves along a quiet path, carrying water or checking a small task, each step slow, deliberate, and soft. The echo of stone beneath careful feet blends into the muted stillness of the city. Animals, too, are still. Dogs rest quietly, small rises and falls in their breathing the only motion. Chickens are silent in coops. Birds are perched high, nearly motionless, their tiny movements blending with the calm night. Even the smallest creatures, mice, insects, move softly, almost imperceptibly, becoming part of the gentle, rhythmic heartbeat of the night. Courtyards and gardens shimmer faintly. Pools of water catch the faint glow of distant lamps or the stars above, rippling slowly when touched by a light breeze. Leaves move gently in soft currents of air. Someone might pause in a doorway or near a fountain, completing a final quiet task, arranging a basket, straightening a cloth, or simply standing and breathing in the calm air before returning to stillness. Time seems suspended. Every sound, every motion, every breath merges into the slow, soothing rhythm of late night. The city moves steadily, deliberately, comfortably, though barely at all. The streets, homes, and courtyards are all wrapped in quiet, gentle darkness. Soft light flickers across walls, shadows stretch and bend. The air is calm, carrying the faint sense of cooling stone, lingering herbs, and warm embers. Life continues quietly, deliberately, slowly, one measured moment at a time. Even in the absence of activity, there is movement, the gentle rise and fall of breath, the faint trickle of water, the whisper of wind through leaves, the soft settling of stone and wood. These small, subtle motions form the quiet pulse of a city at rest. The night holds everything softly. The streets, walls, courtyards, and homes are wrapped in stillness. The city rests completely, moving only in the smallest, most gentle motions. And in this gentle unfolding, life in ancient Rome continues, slow, predictable, and peaceful. Every shadow, every flicker of light, every subtle sound blends into a steady rhythm. The world is calm. The city is calm. The night is calm.
The deepest hours of night settle over the city. The sky is a soft, dark velvet, studded with faint, distant stars. Their light is cool, steady, and unhurried, barely noticeable, casting a faint shimmer on rooftops, walls, and pools of water. The city is wrapped in quiet, complete stillness. The air is cool, calm, and gentle, drifting slowly along streets, through open windows, and across empty courtyards. It carries the faint sense of earth, herbs, and cooling stone, subtle and soothing. Inside homes, sleep is universal. Breathing is slow, steady, and rhythmic. Families lie quietly on mats or in simple beds. Children rest deeply, their small movements slow and occasional. Pets curl in corners, warm and still. Hearths, if still glowing, cast a faint flicker across walls, moving softly with the rhythm of the fire. Each tiny sound, each motion, contributes to the steady, comforting pulse of the night. Outside, streets are nearly motionless. Footsteps are rare, almost imperceptible. Perhaps a single person moves along a quiet path, carrying water or checking a small task, each step slow, deliberate, and soft. The echo of stone beneath careful feet blends into the muted stillness of the city. Animals, too, are still. Dogs rest quietly, small rises and falls in their breathing the only motion. Chickens are silent in coops. Birds are perched high, nearly motionless, their tiny movements blending with the calm night. Even the smallest creatures move softly, barely noticeable, fitting seamlessly into the rhythm of stillness. Courtyards and pools reflect the faint light of lamps or stars. The surface of the water shimmers slowly, disturbed only by the faintest ripple of wind. Leaves sway lazily, moving just enough to catch the gentle currents of air. Every motion is slow, deliberate, harmonious, and quiet. The city seems to breathe softly, an inhale, an exhale. Time stretches, slow and expansive. Every small sound, the faint drip of water, the subtle brush of leaves against leaves, the gentle settling of stone and wood, becomes part of the quiet, soothing pulse of the night. There is no urgency, there is no rush, only the calm, measured flow of life continuing in its soft, steady rhythm. Even the faint flicker of lamp flames contributes to the gentle rhythm. Soft shadows stretch and bend, moving slowly and fluidly with the flickering light. The walls, floors, and courtyards of homes seem to breathe alongside the people within them. Every gesture, every movement, every subtle sound blends naturally into the calm, unbroken pulse of the city. Time feels suspended. The streets, homes, courtyards, and gardens are all steeped in soft, peaceful darkness. The city rests fully, each moment blending imperceptibly into the next. Life in ancient Rome flows gently, predictably, quietly, one soft, measured moment at a time. The night is deep, silent, calm, and unhurried. Even in this stillness, the city holds its quiet rhythm, the subtle movements of air, the faint sounds of water, the gentle flicker of light. All is calm, all is steady, all is serene. The city rests in quiet, wrapped in the gentle embrace of night. And within this steady rhythm, life continues slowly, peacefully, comfortably, one quiet, gentle moment at a time.
The city sleeps deeply, wrapped in the calm stillness of night. The hours pass slowly, almost imperceptibly. The sky above is a deep, muted blue, scattered with faint stars, their soft light shimmering gently across rooftops, walls, and quiet courtyards. The air is cool and calm, moving softly along empty streets and through open windows. Each breath of wind carries a subtle scent of earth, stone, and herbs, faint and soothing, adding to the gentle rhythm of the sleeping city. Inside homes, life continues softly in its most restful form. Breathing is steady, slow, and rhythmic. Families rest quietly on simple beds or mats. Children sleep deeply, their small bodies moving only slightly as they dream. Pets curl comfortably in corners, warm and still. Hearths, if still faintly glowing, cast flickering light across walls and floors, a soft, comforting presence in the quiet of the night. Outside, the streets are nearly motionless. A few faint footsteps might sound as someone moves slowly and deliberately, perhaps to fetch water or complete a small task. Every sound is soft, measured, and calm, blending seamlessly into the stillness around it. Animals rest quietly as well. Dogs stretch and settle on warm stones. Chickens are still in their coops. Birds are perched high, nearly motionless, their small movements imperceptible. Even the smallest creatures move softly, fitting naturally into the rhythm of the calm night. Courtyards and gardens are wrapped in gentle shadow. Pools of water reflect faint lamplight or the stars above. Leaves drift slowly in the quiet air, responding subtly to the lightest movements of wind. Every motion, every shift is soft, deliberate, harmonious, and quiet. The city seems to breathe softly, an inhale, an exhale. Time stretches, slow and expansive. Every small sound, the faint drip of water, the subtle brush of leaves against leaves, the gentle settling of stone and wood, becomes part of the quiet, soothing pulse of the night. There is no urgency, there is no rush, only the calm, measured flow of life continuing in its soft, steady rhythm. Even the faint flicker of lamp flames contributes to the gentle rhythm. Soft shadows stretch and bend, moving slowly and fluidly with the flickering light. The walls, floors, and courtyards of homes seem to breathe alongside the people within them. Every gesture, every movement, every subtle sound blends naturally into the calm, unbroken pulse of the city. Time feels suspended. The streets, homes, courtyards, and gardens are all steeped in soft, peaceful darkness. The city rests fully, each moment blending imperceptibly into the next. Life in ancient Rome flows gently, predictably, quietly, one soft, measured moment at a time. The city sleeps deeply, wrapped in the calm stillness of night. The hours pass slowly, almost imperceptibly. The sky above is a deep, muted blue, scattered with faint stars, their soft light shimmering gently across rooftops, walls, and quiet courtyards. The air is cool and calm, moving softly along empty streets and through open windows. Each breath of wind carries a subtle scent of earth, stone, and herbs, faint and soothing, adding to the gentle rhythm of the sleeping city. Inside homes, life continues softly in its most restful form. Breathing is steady, slow, and rhythmic. Families lie quietly on simple beds or mats. Children sleep deeply, their small bodies moving only slightly as they dream. Pets curl comfortably in corners, warm and still. Hearths, if still faintly glowing, cast flickering light across walls and floors, a soft, comforting presence in the quiet of the night. Outside, the streets are nearly motionless. A few faint footsteps might sound as someone moves slowly and deliberately, perhaps to fetch water or complete a small task. Every sound is soft, measured, and calm, blending seamlessly into the stillness around it. Animals rest quietly as well. Dogs stretch and settle on warm stones. Chickens are still in their coops. Birds are perched high, nearly motionless, their small movements imperceptible. Even the smallest creatures move softly, fitting naturally into the rhythm of the calm night. Courtyards and gardens are wrapped in gentle shadow. Pools of water reflect faint lamplight or the stars above. Leaves drift slowly in the quiet
Air, responding subtly to the lightest movements of wind. Every motion, every shift is soft, deliberate, and harmonious. Time flows slowly, expansively, gently. The faintest sounds, the drip of water, the whisper of leaves, the settling of stone and wood, form a quiet, soothing symphony that fills the city. Each soft motion is part of the gentle pulse of life, continuous and steady. There is no urgency, there is no rush, only calm, measured, and comforting rhythm. As the night deepens, the city feels suspended in its own quiet, timeless embrace. Shadows stretch further, light flickers softly. Walls and courtyards hold a muted, gentle glow. The air is cool but comforting, carrying the subtle scent of night and warmth from homes. Slowly, imperceptibly, the first hints of dawn begin to brush the sky. A faint, soft glow appears along the horizon, subtle and quiet. The deep indigo of night begins to shift into muted shades of pale blue and soft gray. The city remains calm, peaceful, and serene, yet there is a gentle sense of change in the air. Hearths may flicker for the last time, lamps dim as the first light of morning begins to touch walls and rooftops. Time remains slow. Every motion, every sound, every breath remains deliberate, measured, and gentle. Life continues in its quiet, comforting rhythm. The city, still mostly asleep, is touched softly by the coming day. Streets, homes, and courtyards rest, bathed in the gentle, calm light of early dawn. Even as the world begins to stir, everything moves slowly, predictably, peacefully, one soft, measured moment at a time. The city remains serene, calm, and restful, wrapped in the gentle pulse of life. Morning arrives quietly, softly, without hurry. The first pale light of dawn spreads gently across rooftops, walls, and streets. It is a subtle, muted glow, faint and delicate, brushing the city in soft tones of gray-blue and warm amber. Shadows from night linger still in corners and alleys, blending gradually with the new light. The air is cool, calm, and gentle, carrying the soft scent of earth, stone, and early morning dew. Inside homes, the day begins in slow, deliberate motions. Families stir gently from sleep. The soft rustle of blankets, the quiet shift of bodies, the faint sigh of stretching, all are unhurried, soothing, measured. Children wake gradually, their movements slow and deliberate. Small animals stir as well, shifting or stretching, adjusting to the new day. Every sound and motion blends into a calm, steady rhythm. Hearths are lit carefully, lamps refilled with oil.
The soft glow spreads warmth and light, flickering gently across walls and floors. A faint aroma rises from embers and simmering food, comforting and familiar. Outside, streets begin to see the first movements of the day. People step carefully onto stone paths, their footsteps measured and deliberate. The city is quiet, still holding the calm of night, but there is the faint pulse of life beginning to emerge. Vendors adjust goods softly, preparing for the day in their gentle, familiar rhythm. Each sound, footsteps, soft greetings, the moving of baskets or jars is quiet, deliberate, and harmonious with the slow awakening of the city. Animals, too, rise with the day. Dogs stretch lazily on warm stones, moving softly. Chickens stir in their coops, clucking gently. Birds call faintly, their songs soft and unhurried, blending with the gentle stir of air through leaves and the faint trickle of water from fountains. Each movement is part of the city's natural rhythm, slow, deliberate, and calm. Courtyards and gardens glimmer faintly in the soft morning light. Pools of water reflect the first glow of dawn, rippling gently when touched by a soft breeze. Leaves sway slowly, moving in time with the faint currents of air. People pause briefly to adjust objects, tend small tasks, or take a quiet moment to breathe in the cool, calm morning. Every movement is smooth, measured, and soothing. Time seems to stretch in these early hours. Each footstep, each gesture, each sound forms part of the soft, steady pulse of the awakening city. There is no urgency. Every action flows naturally, gently, comfortably. The streets, courtyards, and homes gradually fill with life, but in a soft, measured way. Bakers begin to prepare dough, moving hands in steady, rhythmic motions. Women sweep or fold cloth, tending to small household tasks. Every gesture contributes to the slow, calming rhythm of life in the city. The sun rises slowly, its warm light spreading gradually across rooftops and streets. Stone glows gently, walls take on muted warmth, and shadows retreat softly. The city breathes in the calm warmth of morning. Even as the day begins, life remains deliberate, gentle, and unhurried. Each movement, each sound, each small task blends seamlessly into the steady, peaceful rhythm of daily life. The city holds a quiet harmony, measured and comforting, as it begins another day in the slow, predictable flow of life. Ancient Rome wakes softly, calmly, and gently, one peaceful, measured moment at a time.
The morning grows slowly, stretching gently across the city. The soft light of the rising sun spreads warmth and color across rooftops, streets, and courtyards. Shadows shrink and shift, folding into the new daylight with subtle, unhurried movement. The air is calm, cool, and steady, carrying the faint scent of earth, herbs, and warm stone from the lingering night. Each breath of wind moves lazily, touching walls, leaves, and rooftops with quiet, soothing motion. Inside homes, daily routines settle into a slow rhythm. Families move deliberately, performing small tasks with gentle precision. Bread is prepared, soft and warm from the hearth. Jars of water and oil are checked and arranged. Children move quietly, fetching small items or helping with chores, their motions careful, steady, and calm. Every gesture is slow and deliberate, blending naturally into the rhythm of the morning. The hearth glows softly, its warmth spreading throughout the room. Flames flicker gently,
casting dancing shadows that bend and sway across walls and floors. The quiet crackle of embers adds a subtle heartbeat to the household, steady and comforting. Outside, streets are gradually filled with the soft stirrings of the day. Footsteps echo lightly across worn stone paths. Each movement is measured, calm, and deliberate. Vendors arrange their goods quietly, cloths and baskets moving in smooth, practiced motions. The gentle clink of pottery or soft rustle of fabric forms part of the city's unhurried morning song. Water flows steadily from fountains, clear and soothing. Some carry it slowly to their homes, careful not to spill. The faint swish of liquid blends seamlessly with the quiet murmurs of early activity. Animals follow the gentle rhythm of morning. Dogs stretch and wander lazily, moving slowly between sun-warmed stones. Chickens cluck softly as they peck in courtyards. Birds begin their morning calls, low and melodious, not hurried, blending naturally with the soft movement of wind and water. Even the smallest creatures, insects and rodents, move quietly, almost imperceptibly, adding to the subtle pulse of life. Courtyards and gardens hold soft, shifting light. Pools of water reflect the gentle morning sky, rippling only slightly when touched by a breeze. Leaves sway lazily, moving in harmony with the calm currents of air. Small motions, someone folding a cloth, arranging herbs, or adjusting food preparations, flow seamlessly into the larger rhythm of the city, deliberate and soothing. Time moves slowly in these hours. Every sound, every gesture, every small motion forms part of a continuous, gentle pattern. There is no hurry, there is no rush, only the steady, calming rhythm of life unfolding naturally. Bakers knead dough with smooth, repeated motions. The faint scent of flour drifts through open windows, mingling with the cool morning air. Women tend to chores, folding cloth, organizing small items, or adjusting food preparations. Each action is deliberate, calming, and familiar. The sun rises higher, spreading gentle warmth and light. Stone glows softly. Walls take on muted hues, and shadows retreat gradually. The air carries warmth mingled with the faint cooling presence of morning breezes. Even as life begins to move more visibly, the city retains its gentle, predictable rhythm. Every footstep, every sound, every gesture fits naturally into the slow, measured pulse of ancient Rome. The city is alive, yet calm, busy, yet soothing, predictable, yet full of quiet wonder. Every moment flows gently into the next, soft, deliberate, and comforting. And as the morning unfolds, the city moves steadily, peacefully, and quietly, one measured, gentle moment at a time.
Mid-morning stretches softly across the city. The sun has risen further, spreading a gentle warmth across rooftops, streets, and courtyards. Its light is still soft, calm, and steady, illuminating stone walls and worn paths with muted golden hues. Shadows remain present, long and gentle, stretching slowly as the sun climbs, blending seamlessly with the quiet rhythms of daily life. Inside homes, the morning continues in measured pace. Families go about simple tasks. Bread is sliced carefully, fruit arranged on small tables. Jars of water and oil are handled with steady hands, moved and set down deliberately. Children assist in quiet ways, perhaps sweeping floors, arranging small objects, or carrying light items. Each motion is unhurried, fluid, and calming, merging naturally into the rhythm of the household. The hearth glows softly, its warmth filling rooms. Flames flicker lightly, casting moving shadows across walls and floors. The subtle crackle of embers adds a steady, comforting heartbeat to the home. Small sounds, the clink of a jar, the soft shuffle of feet, the gentle rustle of fabric are soft and soothing, part of the continuous flow of the morning. Outside, streets hum quietly with early activity. Tradespeople begin their work in slow, deliberate motions. Bakers shape dough, their hands steady and rhythmic. Potters turn clay on wheels with measured pressure, forming smooth shapes that will later hold food or water. Blacksmiths hammer softly, each strike deliberate, steady, and controlled. The faint sounds of tools, soft thuds, the scrape of wood or stone, the gentle turning of wheels blend into a quiet, continuous melody of work. Vendors arrange goods carefully in the marketplace. Cloths are spread slowly, baskets positioned with care, and pottery adjusted gently. Each movement is deliberate, familiar, and unhurried, adding to the calm, steady pulse of the city. Water flows constantly from fountains. People carry it with careful hands, steps soft and measured. The faint splash of liquid contributes to the quiet symphony of mid-morning life. Animals adjust to the rhythm of the day. Dogs wander slowly, moving between sun-warmed stones or resting near homes. Chickens peck lazily, their movements unhurried. Birds call softly, short, measured songs blending with the gentle noise of daily tasks. Even the smallest creatures, mice, insects, move subtly, harmonizing with the soft, steady rhythm of the streets. Courtyards and gardens shimmer in the sunlight. Pools of water reflect the pale gold light, rippling softly when touched by breeze or falling leaves. People move slowly among herbs, tending them with calm precision, folding cloth, arranging baskets, or adjusting small items. Each gesture is deliberate, familiar, and unhurried, blending seamlessly with the soft hum of activity. Time unfolds slowly in these hours. Every sound, the faint tap of a tool, the gentle clink of pottery, the soft brush of feet along stone, is part of the continuous, soothing rhythm of life. There is no hurry, no sharpness, only the gentle, predictable pulse of a city at work. Even as activity increases slightly, life remains calm, measured, and comforting. The sun rises higher, bringing soft warmth to the city. Shadows shift slowly. Stone glows gently. Air carries subtle scents, freshly baked bread, herbs, warm stone, and the faint aroma of clay or water. Tradespeople continue their work with steady, rhythmic motions. Bakers, potters, blacksmiths, and other artisans move deliberately, each step and motion blending naturally into the quiet flow of the day. The streets, courtyards, and homes are alive, yet serene. Every action, every sound, every small movement contributes to the gentle, continuous heartbeat of the city. Life is slow, deliberate, predictable, and comforting. Ancient Rome moves steadily through mid-morning, one soft, measured, gentle moment at a time.
Late morning settles over the city with a soft, gentle warmth. The sun rises higher, illuminating rooftops, walls, and courtyards in steady, muted gold. Shadows stretch gently across stone paths, receding gradually as light fills every corner. The air is calm and cool, carrying the subtle scent of earth, herbs, and faint smoke from distant hearths. Every movement of the breeze is slow and deliberate, brushing against leaves, rooftops, and quiet streets with a soothing touch. Inside homes, routines continue with measured calm. Families engage in simple tasks, each movement deliberate and gentle. Women tend to cloth, folding and arranging it carefully. Jars of water and oil are moved softly, set down with precision. Children move quietly, fetching small items or helping with chores. The hearth glows steadily, casting warm flickers across walls and floors. The soft crackle of embers and the faint aroma of warm bread or cooking food create a comforting, familiar atmosphere. Outside, the city's quiet activity becomes more visible. Markets begin to fill with gentle movements. Vendors arrange goods carefully, baskets of fruits and vegetables, jars of oil, small clay pots. Cloth is unfolded slowly and laid with precision. The faint sounds of movement, the soft clink of pottery, the quiet rustle of fabrics, the low murmur of voices blend into a gentle, unhurried rhythm. Tradespeople continue their work at a calm, steady pace. Bakers knead dough with slow, rhythmic motions. Potters turn clay on wheels, hands moving with deliberate care to shape each vessel. Blacksmiths work steadily, hammering softly, each strike measured, contributing to the quiet melody of the morning. The sounds are consistent, predictable, and soothing, forming a gentle background to the life of the city. Water flows steadily from fountains. People carry it with care, steps deliberate, hands steady. The subtle splashing of water adds to the soft chorus of early activity. Animals move slowly and comfortably through the city. Dogs stretch or wander, pacing lazily across sun-warmed stones. Chickens peck and scratch in courtyards, clucking softly. Birds sing short, low songs, blending with the sounds of wind, water, and quiet human activity. Even the smallest creatures, insects and mice, move subtly, harmonizing with the steady pulse of the day. Courtyards and gardens are quiet, yet alive. Pools of water mirror the soft sunlight, rippling slowly in the lightest breeze. Leaves sway gently, touched by air currents. People tend to small tasks, adjusting herbs, arranging baskets, folding cloth, moving slowly, deliberately, and calmly. Each action is familiar, rhythmic, and soothing, merging into the gentle heartbeat of the city. Time flows slowly in these hours. Every step, every gesture, every sound fits naturally into the calm rhythm of life. There is no urgency, no rush, only the soft, predictable pulse of daily routines. The streets, homes, and courtyards are alive with gentle motion, yet the atmosphere remains serene. Even as the day progresses, the rhythm remains steady, measured, and comforting. The sun continues its ascent, bringing steady warmth and soft light. Stone glows warmly, walls take on gentle hues, and shadows move slowly and predictably. The air carries the subtle scent of bread, herbs, warm stone, and faint smoke. Life continues, deliberate and soothing. Tradespeople, families, and animals move harmoniously, creating a continuous, soft melody of daily life. The city breathes gently, each moment flowing naturally into the next. Ancient Rome moves through late morning with quiet calm, predictable rhythm, and gentle steadiness, one soft, measured moment at a time.
Midday arrives slowly, softly, and comfortably. The sun hangs higher now, spreading a gentle warmth across rooftops, streets, and courtyards. Light touches the stone paths evenly, softening edges,
highlighting textures and warming surfaces without haste. Shadows remain present, subtle and slow-moving, stretching across walls and floors, blending seamlessly with the calm rhythm of the day. The air is steady, slightly warmer than morning, carrying faint scents of earth, herbs, warm stone, and distant bread from ovens. Inside homes, quiet activity continues with deliberate ease. Families attend to small chores and preparations. The hearth glows steadily, flames flickering gently across walls and floors. Food is tended slowly. Bread is sliced and arranged, fruits and herbs prepared carefully, jars of water and oil moved with soft precision. Children may assist, walking carefully across floors, carrying small items, folding cloths, or sweeping gently. Every motion is slow, familiar, and comforting. Outside, the city hums with gentle, steady life. Vendors tend to their markets with calm, predictable movements. Baskets of fruits and vegetables are adjusted, jars of oil set upright, small pottery shifted with deliberate care. Cloths are unfolded and arranged slowly, creating neat rows and folds. Every gesture, every soft clink or rustle of material blends naturally into the harmonious rhythm of midday life. Tradespeople work steadily, their movements measured and rhythmic. Bakers knead dough with gentle repetition, the flour soft and dry beneath their fingers. Potters shape clay with careful circular motions, guiding it gradually into familiar forms. Blacksmiths hammer slowly, deliberately, each tap controlled and consistent, creating a quiet, comforting beat in the background of the streets. Water continues to flow steadily from fountains. People carry it softly, steps measured, hands steady. The subtle splash and trickle of water adds to the continuous, gentle music of the day. Animals move slowly and calmly. Dogs wander across sun-warmed stones or lie resting in shaded corners. Chickens scratch at the ground, moving lazily, clucking softly. Birds call briefly, then settle again. Insects and small creatures move subtly, almost imperceptibly, contributing quietly to the soft hum of life. Courtyards and gardens reflect the sun's gentle warmth. Pools of water shimmer faintly, rippling only when touched by the breeze. Leaves sway slowly, caught in currents of air, moving almost imperceptibly. People tend to herbs, fold cloths, or adjust baskets with deliberate care. Every movement is rhythmic, familiar, and soothing, blending into the overall pulse of life. Time flows with a gentle, steady pace. Every footstep, every gesture, every faint sound becomes part of a continuous, calming pattern. There is no hurry, there is no rush, only the steady, measured rhythm of life unfolding naturally. Even as the day moves into its warmest hours, the city remains calm, predictable, and comforting. Stone glows under the sun, walls take on soft, muted hues, and shadows shift slowly across streets and courtyards. The air is still gentle, carrying the subtle aromas of bread, herbs, clay, and warm stone. Families, tradespeople, and animals move harmoniously. Every action is deliberate, steady, and peaceful, merging into the soft, unbroken heartbeat of the city. Midday in ancient Rome is a calm, deliberate pause. The city moves slowly, predictably, and comfortably, one quiet, measured, gentle moment at a time.
Early afternoon settles over the city with a calm, gentle warmth. The sun now hangs high in the sky, casting soft, steady light across rooftops, streets, and courtyards. Stone surfaces absorb the warmth slowly, radiating it back in gentle waves. Shadows are faint, muted, and slow-moving, retreating subtly beneath walls, doorways, and arches. The air is warm but steady, carrying delicate hints of earth, herbs, and faint smoke from distant hearths. Each movement of wind is minimal, soft, and comforting, barely stirring leaves or dust, but enough to keep the air alive. Inside homes, a slow, unhurried rhythm continues. Families may pause to rest briefly after morning activities. The hearth glows faintly, its warmth a gentle comfort. Small meals are tended with care, slices of bread arranged on plates, fruits or herbs prepared slowly, and water poured gently into jars or cups. Children move quietly, assisting where they can, sweeping lightly, folding cloths or carrying small items. Each motion is soft, deliberate, and soothing, blending naturally with the calm of the afternoon. The streets of the city are quieter now, but activity persists in a slow, measured way. Markets continue with gentle rhythms. Vendors adjust goods, baskets, and jars carefully. Cloths are arranged smoothly, pottery shifted gradually into neat patterns. Every movement is soft, predictable, and familiar. Voices are low, murmured, blending into the ambient soundscape of the city. The soft clink of pottery, the faint rustle of fabric, and the gentle tapping of tools create a soothing background melody. Tradespeople move with deliberate steadiness. Bakers check dough, kneading lightly when necessary. Potters shape clay slowly, hands tracing each curve and edge with calm precision. Blacksmiths hammer in slow, measured strikes, the rhythm steady and predictable. The faint echo of their work carries through streets and courtyards, soft and constant, a gentle pulse in the day. Water continues its quiet flow from fountains and aqueducts. People carry it gently, walking softly along stone paths. The faint splashing of liquid joins the gentle hum of other daily sounds, forming a steady, calming rhythm. Animals adjust to the pace of early afternoon. Dogs find shaded spots, lying down with slow, steady breaths. Chickens move lazily in courtyards, pecking at the ground with soft, measured motions. Birds rest quietly, calling only occasionally, blending naturally into the calm of the day. Even the tiniest creatures move subtly, almost imperceptibly, in harmony with the gentle pulse of the city. Courtyards and gardens bask in soft sunlight. Pools of water glimmer faintly, rippling only with the slightest movement of wind. Leaves drift lazily, swaying gently in the lightest currents of air. People tend herbs, fold cloths, or adjust small items with deliberate, soothing motions. Each action is familiar, rhythmic, and harmonious, merging seamlessly into the calm flow of daily life. Time feels expansive and unhurried. Every gesture, every sound, every step contributes to the continuous, gentle heartbeat of the city. There is no urgency, there is no rush, only slow, steady, comforting rhythm. Even as the sun reaches its peak, the city remains serene and predictable. Stone glows warmly. Walls are bathed in soft, muted hues. Shadows shift slowly across streets and courtyards. The air carries faint scents of warm bread, herbs, clay, and sun-warmed stone. Families, tradespeople, and animals move harmoniously, deliberately, and gently.
Every motion blends naturally into the soft, unbroken pulse of life. Early afternoon in ancient Rome is a calm, predictable stretch of warmth and quiet. The city moves slowly, steadily, and comfortably, one measured, gentle moment at a time.
Mid-afternoon drifts over the city slowly and quietly. The sun begins its gentle descent, still bright but softened by the long day. Its light brushes rooftops, streets, and courtyards with a calm, golden glow. Shadows stretch lazily across stone paths, walls, and arches, blending gradually with the warmth of the sun. The air is steady, calm, and warm, carrying faint scents of earth, herbs, and distant fires from hearths that continue to simmer gently. A soft, barely perceptible breeze moves through the city, touching leaves, rooftops, and open doorways with quiet, soothing motion. Inside homes, daily routines continue in slow, deliberate rhythm. Families tend small tasks with gentle care. Bread or fruit may be arranged for a late snack. Jars of water and oil handled with precise, measured motions. Children help quietly, carrying light items or folding cloth. The hearth glows softly, flickering in time with the quiet rhythm of the household. Every sound, the clink of jars, the soft shuffle of feet, the gentle rustle of fabric, adds to the comforting melody of daily life. Outside, streets and courtyards carry a calm, steady pulse. Markets continue with unhurried activity. Vendors move goods carefully, baskets of fruits and vegetables, jars of oil, small clay pots. Cloths are adjusted and spread slowly, forming neat lines and folds. The faint sounds of movement, soft clinks, low murmurs of voices, gentle shifting of items, blend naturally into the soothing rhythm of the city. Tradespeople move deliberately, steadily, and rhythmically. Bakers check dough and shape it with gentle repetition. Potters mold clay slowly, tracing each curve with careful hands. Blacksmiths hammer softly, strikes measured and consistent, echoing faintly across streets and courtyards. Their quiet, steady work adds to the calming pulse of life. Water continues to flow from fountains and aqueducts. People carry it slowly and carefully, steps soft and measured. The subtle splash of water blends with other faint sounds, wind through leaves, distant bird song, and the soft shuffle of feet across stone. Each sound becomes part of a continuous, harmonious melody. Animals adjust to the rhythm of mid-afternoon. Dogs rest in the sun or in shaded corners, breathing slowly. Chickens move quietly in courtyards, pecking and scratching with soft, predictable motions. Birds call intermittently, low and gentle, blending with the surrounding quiet. Even insects and small creatures move subtly, almost imperceptibly, maintaining harmony with the city's steady pulse. Courtyards and gardens shimmer in soft, sunlit warmth. Pools of water glimmer faintly, rippling with the lightest breeze. Leaves sway lazily, drifting in currents of air. People tend herbs, fold cloth, or adjust baskets, each movement deliberate, soothing, and calm. Every gesture contributes naturally to the slow, continuous rhythm of life. Time feels expansive, slow, and unhurried. Every motion, every sound, every small detail fits naturally into the gentle, steady heartbeat of the city. There is no hurry, no rush, only the slow, predictable, comforting pulse of daily life. Even as the day stretches on, the city retains its calm, deliberate harmony.
Stone glows softly in the afternoon sun. Shadows shift gradually. Walls take on warm, muted hues. The air carries the faint aroma of bread, herbs, warm stone, and distant fires. Families, tradespeople, and animals move deliberately and harmoniously, blending naturally into the soft, continuous rhythm of daily life. Mid-afternoon in ancient Rome is calm, steady, and predictable, a gentle stretch of warm, comforting hours. The city moves slowly, deliberately, and quietly, one soft, measured moment at a time.
As the late afternoon slowly gives way to evening, the city softens into quiet, gentle rhythms. The sun lowers in the sky, casting long, mellow shadows across streets, walls, and courtyards. Light turns warm, golden, and muted, brushing rooftops and stones with soft, steady tones. The air cools slightly, carrying the faint sense of earth, herbs, and lingering warmth from the day's stone and hearths. A quiet breeze moves lazily through leaves and open windows, barely stirring, gentle and calm. Inside homes, families begin to settle. The hearth glows steadily, casting a soft flicker across walls and floors. Small meals are finished, cups of water and oil arranged carefully, cloths folded, and simple tasks completed with slow, deliberate motions. Children move quietly to their resting places, curling under blankets or mats. Pets settle in corners, warm and calm. Every movement, every breath, every soft sound blends seamlessly into the quiet, gentle rhythm of the household. Outside, streets and courtyards grow quieter. Vendors begin to close their stalls, baskets and goods moved with careful precision. Tradespeople finish their tasks, tools and materials put aside in gentle, measured gestures. The faint echo of soft footsteps, the rustle of cloth, and the occasional murmur of conversation continue briefly, then fade into the calm hush of evening. Animals adjust to the settling day. Dogs curl up in shaded corners, slow breaths rising and falling. Chickens nestle quietly, clucking softly and rarely moving. Birds settle in trees or along rooftops, their faint calls blending with the gentle whisper of wind and the soft rhythm of the city. Insects and small creatures move subtly, almost imperceptibly, harmonizing with the quiet pulse of life. Courtyards and gardens hold the last warm light. Pools of water shimmer faintly in the gentle glow, ripples soft and slow. Leaves drift lazily in the faint breeze. People finish tending herbs, folding cloth, and arranging small items, every motion deliberate, familiar, and calming. The soft, measured sounds of daily life begin to fade into stillness. Time slows. Every step, every gesture, every faint sound is gentle, predictable, and soothing. There is no rush, no urgency, only the calm, steady pulse of life winding down for the day. The sun dips lower, bathing the city in soft, muted tones of orange, pink, and deepening blue. Shadows stretch long and merge with night. The air cools further, carrying the faint scents of evening herbs, stone, and hearth. The city breathes quietly. Stone, walls, streets, and rooftops all settle into calm. Courtyards, gardens, and pools become still. Every household, every street, every creature aligns with the gentle rhythm of the closing day. As darkness approaches, lights glow softly in homes. Hearths flicker, lamps shimmer, and the last faint sounds of activity fade slowly. The city of ancient Rome rests.
all is calm, quiet, and steady. Every motion, every sound, every breath slows and softens. The day ends gently, predictably, peacefully. Life continues in its soft, unbroken rhythm, now in the quiet embrace of night. And so the city sleeps, wrapped in warmth, shadow, and calm, moving slowly, one gentle, measured moment at a time. The story fades as softly as the evening, leaving only stillness, peace, and the steady heartbeat of a city at rest.
The night is quiet. There is a gentle stillness in the air, the kind that settles softly over the world when everything begins to rest. You can imagine a distant city, long ago, slowly dimming under a fading sky. The last light of day stretches across stone walls and narrow streets, turning everything warm and golden for just a moment before it disappears. Now, the light is gone, and in its place, a calm darkness spreads across the land. This is where our story begins, not with loud moments or great events, but with something softer, something slower, the quiet rhythm of everyday life in a place that once felt as real and ordinary as your own world does now. We drift gently into the past, to the time of ancient Rome. It is a vast and steady world, filled with simple routines, familiar sounds, and the quiet habits of daily living. A world where people wake with the sun, move through their day with purpose, and rest again as the night returns. There is no rush here, only time moving slowly. As we settle into this place, you can begin to picture the city, not as a grand empire, but as a living space, a place where footsteps echo on stone roads, where doors open quietly in the early morning, where voices are soft and low, carried gently through the air. The streets are narrow in some places, wider in others. Stone buildings rise on either side, their surfaces worn smooth by years of wind and touch. Some homes are small and simple, others stand taller, with balconies and shaded windows. But all of them are still now. It is the early hours before dawn. Most people are asleep. Inside these homes, families rest under simple coverings. The rooms are quiet, lit only by the faint memory of firelight. There is no noise except the occasional shifting of someone in their sleep or the distant sound of night air moving through the streets. Time feels slow here, almost still. And then, very gently, the world begins to change. Far in the distance, the first light of morning starts to appear. It is soft at first, a pale glow that slowly touches the edges of rooftops and walls. The sky begins to lighten, almost without notice. This is how the day begins in ancient Rome, not suddenly, but quietly. As the light grows, small sounds begin to return. A door opens somewhere. Footsteps move across a floor. Someone stirs awake, adjusting to the cool air of early morning. The city is waking. Inside one modest home, a man rises from his bed. The room is simple, with plain walls and very little furniture. A low bed, a small table, perhaps a stool near the corner. Nothing unnecessary. Everything has its place. He sits for a moment. There is no hurry. He breathes in slowly, feeling the stillness of the morning. This is a familiar moment, one he has experienced many times before, the quiet space between sleep and the start of the day. Then, gently, he stands. The floor beneath his feet is cool. The air carries a faint scent of yesterday's fire, now long gone. He moves carefully, not to disturb others who may still be resting nearby. In another part of the home, someone else begins to wake. A soft movement, the quiet rustle of fabric, a slow, peaceful beginning. This is how life unfolds here, not with urgency, but with rhythm. As more people wake,
The city slowly fills with sound. It is never loud all at once. Instead, it builds gently. A voice here, a step there, the creak of wood, the distant call of someone greeting the morning. Outside, the streets begin to change. The soft light now reaches deeper into the city. It touches doorways, windows, and the uneven surfaces of stone roads. The shadows shift, becoming shorter as the sun slowly rises. A few early walkers step outside. They move quietly, wrapped in simple clothing, adjusting to the coolness of the air. Some carry small items, others simply walk, beginning their day without words. There is a peaceful feeling in these early hours, a sense that everything is beginning again, just as it did the day before, and the day before that. In ancient Rome, daily life is built on these small, steady routines. There is comfort in repetition. There is calm in knowing what comes next. As the morning continues, more doors open, more people step into the streets. The city is no longer asleep, but it is still gentle, still calm, still moving at its own quiet pace. A woman steps outside her home, carrying a small container. She walks slowly toward a nearby water source. This is part of her morning routine, something she does each day without thinking. The path is familiar, the movement is easy. Others are doing the same, gathering water, preparing for the day ahead. There is little conversation, only the quiet understanding shared between people who follow the same rhythm. Nearby, a small shop begins to open. The owner moves carefully, arranging simple goods. There is no rush to attract attention, no loud calling out, just the quiet act of preparation. Everything happens slowly here. Everything has time. As the sun rises higher, the warmth begins to spread. The cool air of early morning softens. The light becomes brighter, clearer, touching every part of the city. And with it, the day continues to unfold.
The light continues to spread slowly across the city. It does not rush. It does not demand attention. It simply arrives, touching one surface after another, warming the stone, the wood, and the quiet spaces between buildings. By now, the streets of ancient Rome are gently awake. There is a soft rhythm to everything, a feeling that the day is unfolding exactly as it always has, without change, without surprise. People move in familiar patterns, guided not by clocks, but by habit, by light, and by the quiet expectations of daily life. You can imagine standing at the edge of a narrow street. The ground beneath you is made of worn stone, slightly uneven from years of footsteps. There are small grooves where carts once passed, and smooth patches where countless people have walked over time. The air is fresh, though it carries faint traces of smoke from cooking fires that are beginning to burn again. From inside the homes, gentle sounds drift outward. The clink of pottery, the soft crackle of a flame being brought back to life. Low voices, still heavy with sleep, speaking in calm and measured tones. Nothing is loud, nothing is hurried. In one home, a family begins its morning together. A small meal is prepared, simple and quiet. Bread, perhaps a bit of fruit, maybe some leftover food from the day before. The movements are slow and practiced. There is no need to think about each action. The hands know what to do. A child sits nearby, still waking fully, watching the soft light enter through a small opening in the wall. There is comfort here, a kind of peaceful repetition that makes each day feel steady and safe. Outside, more people step into the growing daylight. Some are heading toward places of work. Others are simply beginning their routines, moving from one small task to another. The city does not feel crowded yet. There is still space, still quiet between each movement.
You might hear the distant sound of footsteps echoing gently between the buildings, or the soft brushing of fabric as someone passes by, or the quiet call of a vendor preparing to open their stall. It all blends together into a soft, steady background. As the morning deepens, the city slowly becomes more active, but even then, it never loses its calm. A man walks along the street carrying tools. His pace is unhurried. He knows where he is going, and there is no need to rush. The day is long, and there is time for everything that must be done. Nearby, another person sweeps the area in front of their home. The motion is slow and repetitive, back and forth, back and forth. The soft sound of the broom against stone is almost rhythmic, like a quiet pattern repeating itself. These small actions fill the morning. They are not remarkable, they are not exciting, but they are constant, and in that constancy there is a kind of quiet beauty. As the sun climbs higher, the light becomes stronger. Shadows begin to shorten. The warmth spreads more fully, reaching into places that were cool just moments ago. The city begins to feel alive, but still gentle. In the distance, you might notice larger streets beginning to fill. Here, there is a bit more movement, more people passing, more activity. But even this is calm compared to what you might expect. The energy is steady, not overwhelming. People greet each other softly as they pass. A nod, a quiet word, nothing more than necessary. There is an understanding between them, a shared rhythm that does not need to be spoken. Further along, a market area slowly comes to life. Stalls are arranged carefully. Goods are placed in neat order. Fruits, grains, small crafted items. Everything is set out with care, not to impress, but to be ready. The sellers do not shout. They wait. They know that people will come as they always do. And slowly they begin to arrive, one by one, step by step. A woman pauses to look at a selection of goods. She takes her time. There is no pressure, no urgency. She examines each item slowly, thoughtfully, as if the act itself is part of the day's rhythm. Nearby, someone else makes a small exchange. Coins pass from hand to hand. The movement is quiet, almost unnoticed. Life continues in these small, simple moments. The sun is now fully present in the sky. The coolness of early morning has faded, replaced by a gentle warmth that rests on the skin and lingers in the air. The sounds of the city are now more complete, still soft, but layered. Footsteps, voices, the shifting of objects, the distant movement of carts, all of it blending together into a soft, steady background that never feels overwhelming. If you listen closely, there is a pattern to it, a rhythm that repeats, not exactly the same each day, but close enough to feel familiar. And this familiarity is what shapes life in ancient Rome. There is comfort in knowing how the day will unfold. Morning leads into midday, midday will lead into afternoon, and eventually the quiet of evening will return again. But for now, we remain in this gentle morning. The light is steady, the air is warm, and the city continues to move slowly, peacefully, exactly as it has for so many days before.
The morning settles into a steady rhythm. Nothing feels new now. The early quiet has gently faded, and in its place is something soft and continuous, a living pattern of movement, sound, and light that carries the city forward without effort. The sun stands higher in the sky. Its warmth is no longer faint. It rests on rooftops, seeps into walls, and stretches across the streets in long, gentle layers. The shadows that once felt long and cool have now drawn closer to the feet of passing people. Everything feels more awake, and yet still calm. If you move slowly through the streets, you begin to notice the small differences between each place. Some homes are simple, with narrow doors and small openings that let in only a little light. Others are larger, with inner spaces hidden from the street, where quiet life continues behind walls. Inside one such home, the day has already taken shape. A courtyard rests at the center, open to the sky. Light falls gently into this space, touching a small pool of water that reflects the sky above. The surface moves slightly, disturbed by the softest touch of air. Around this space, rooms open one by one. In one room, someone sits quietly, working with their hands. The motion is slow and careful. There is no rush to finish, only the steady repetition of movement, again and again. In another space, a figure passes through, carrying something small. Their steps are light, almost silent against the floor. The air inside is cooler than outside, holding on to the night's calm for just a little longer. This is how many homes in ancient Rome feel. Not loud, not crowded, but gently alive. Back outside, the streets continue their quiet flow. The market has grown a little fuller now. More people have arrived, moving between stalls, pausing here and there, taking their time. There is no urgency in their steps. Even in movement, there is a sense of rest. A vendor adjusts a display of fruit. The colors are soft under the sunlight. Nothing is too bright, nothing feels sharp. Even the light itself seems to have softened as it settles across the city. A small exchange takes place nearby. Words are spoken, but they are low and measured. The sound does not travel far. It remains close, becoming part of the gentle background that fills the space. Further along, a narrow street leads away from the market. Here it is quieter again. The sounds fade slightly, replaced by a more peaceful stillness. A few people pass through, but not many. The walls on either side rise a little higher, casting soft shadows that move slowly as the sun continues its path. You can imagine walking here, step by step, feeling the warmth under your feet, the soft air around you, the steady calm of a place that does not rush. In the distance, a faint sound of water can be heard. It flows gently, carried through channels that bring it into the city. This water is part of daily life, just like the streets, just like the light. It moves quietly, always present, always steady. Somewhere nearby, someone pauses to gather it. The container fills slowly. There is no need to hurry. Time is wide and open here. As the day moves forward, the feeling of morning begins to shift. It does not end suddenly. Instead, it changes in small, almost unnoticeable ways. The light becomes a little stronger. The warmth settles more deeply. The movements of people become slightly more frequent, though never hurried. This is the slow arrival of midday. In ancient Rome, midday does not feel like a sharp moment. It is a gentle transition, a soft deepening of the day. In one part of the city, a group of workers continue their tasks. They move with steady hands, focused but calm. The sounds they make are quiet and repetitive. The tap of a tool, the shifting of material, each motion blending into a soft rhythm that matches the pace of the day. There is no pressure in their movements, only continuation. Nearby, someone sits in a shaded space, resting. The shade is cool and still, offering a quiet place away from the growing warmth. The air here feels different, softer, almost untouched by the brightness of the sun. This contrast is part of the day's rhythm: light and shade, warmth and coolness, movement and rest. Everything exists in balance.
Back in the streets, the light now fills almost every corner. The shadows are shorter, gathered close beneath objects and along the edges of walls. The sky above is clear and open, stretching quietly over the city. People continue their routines. Some walk with purpose, others pause often, taking time to rest or observe. There is no sense of being rushed forward, only the steady unfolding of time. If you listen closely, you can hear how the sounds have changed. They are fuller now, more layered, but still soft, still gentle. The city is alive, but it does not overwhelm. It simply exists, moving at its own natural pace. As midday settles in, a subtle stillness begins to return. Not the same stillness as early morning, but something different, a quiet pause within the day. Some people retreat indoors away from the strongest light. Inside, the air is cooler and the sounds are softer. The thick walls hold back the heat, creating spaces where the body can rest. In these moments, the city seems to breathe more slowly. The movement outside continues, but it feels more distant, more spread out, less concentrated. This is a time of gentle rest, not sleep, but something close to it, a slowing down, a quiet space within the day. And as time continues to move forward, even this moment will pass. The light will begin to shift again, the shadows will slowly grow, and the city will move once more into the calm and steady rhythm of the afternoon.
The stillness of midday lingers for a while. It does not leave quickly. It rests gently over the city, like a thin layer of warmth that settles into every surface. The air feels slightly heavier now, not in an uncomfortable way, but in a calm, quiet way that encourages slower movement. Time continues, but it feels softer, less noticeable. In many parts of the city, activity has eased. The steady motion of the morning has slowed, and a gentle pause has taken its place. Doors that were open remain open, but fewer people pass through them. The streets, once filled with a quiet flow, now feel more spaced out. You can imagine standing in a shaded corner. The stone wall beside you holds a coolness that has not yet faded. The ground beneath your feet is warm where the sun touches it, but here, in the shade, it feels calm and steady. A faint breeze moves through. It carries with it soft traces of the city, the distant scent of food being prepared, the subtle presence of warm stone, the quiet hint of water somewhere nearby. Nothing is strong. Everything is gentle. In a nearby home, the quiet of midday has settled in. The courtyard is still. The light that once poured down directly has shifted slightly, now touching only part of the open space. The pool of water reflects a brighter sky, but its surface remains calm, barely moving. Someone rests nearby, not fully asleep, but close to it. Their breathing is slow and even. The body is at ease, supported by the stillness of the moment. This kind of rest is familiar. It is part of the day, just like waking in the morning or settling in the evening. There is no need to fill every moment. In ancient Rome, time allows for quiet spaces. Back outside, a few people continue to move through the streets. Their pace is slower now, measured, unhurried. A man walks with a small bundle in his hands. His steps are steady, but there is no urgency in them. He passes through a patch of sunlight, then into shade, then back again. The rhythm of light and shadow follows him as he moves. Nearby, a door opens softly. Someone steps out, pausing for a moment as if adjusting to the brightness. They look down the street, not searching for anything in particular, just observing. The world continues as it always does, and there is a comfort in that.
Further along, the market remains, but it has quieted. The earlier movement has softened into something slower. Some stalls are still active, while others sit in patient stillness, their goods resting untouched for the moment. A vendor leans slightly, resting their weight, watching the open space ahead. There is no concern, no tension, only waiting. The sounds here are fewer now, a soft exchange of words, the faint movement of cloth, the occasional step. Each sound stands on its own, clear and gentle, without being lost in noise. As time moves forward, the light begins to change again. It is almost unnoticeable at first. The brightness softens just slightly. The angle of the sun shifts, and the shadows begin to stretch, slowly reaching outward once more. They do not rush. They grow gradually, inch by inch, returning to the longer shapes they held in the early morning. This is how the afternoon begins, not with a clear moment, but with a quiet transition. In one part of the city, a group of children moves through a narrow street. Their presence brings a different kind of sound, still soft, still gentle, but lighter. Their footsteps are quicker, though not hurried. Their voices rise and fall in simple tones, never loud enough to disturb the calm, only enough to add a soft layer to the background. They pass by quickly, and just as quickly the quiet returns. Nothing lingers too long. Everything flows. In another area, work resumes where it had slowed. Hands return to their tasks. Movements begin again. Tools are lifted, adjusted, used with care. The rhythm of activity returns, but it does not break the calm. It blends into it, becoming part of the steady pulse of the day. A craftsperson sits near the entrance of a small space. Light falls across their hands as they work. The details of their task are small, precise, repeated over and over. There is focus here, but it is not tense. It is relaxed, familiar, almost meditative. Each motion follows the last. Each moment leads quietly into the next. As the afternoon deepens, more people begin to reappear in the streets. The pause of midday has passed. The city begins to breathe a little more fully again. But still, everything remains soft, measured, balanced. The warmth of the day lingers, but it no longer grows. Instead, it settles into a steady presence, wrapping the city in a gentle comfort. If you listen, you can hear how the sounds have shifted once more. There is a quiet return of movement, a few more voices, a few more steps, but nothing sharp, nothing sudden, only the calm continuation of life as it unfolds. In the distance, the faint sound of water continues, always present, always steady. It flows without pause, just as time does. And as the sun continues its slow path across the sky, the afternoon carries on, unhurried, peaceful, and gently moving toward the quiet promise of evening.
The afternoon stretches gently across the city. It does not feel long, yet it does not pass quickly. It simply unfolds moment by moment in a quiet and steady way. The warmth of the day remains, but it has softened. It no longer presses down. Instead, it rests lightly on the rooftops, along the streets, and within the walls of every home. The light has changed. It is no longer high and direct. It begins to angle slowly, casting longer and softer shadows that reach across the ground. These shadows move so gradually that they are almost impossible to notice, yet they are always shifting, always stretching just a little further. This is the beginning of the day's gentle descent toward evening. In the streets, the rhythm of life continues. There is a quiet return of movement after the midday pause. People step outside again, resuming tasks that were set aside earlier. The pace remains calm, but there is a subtle sense of continuation,
as if the day is slowly gathering itself before it fades. A man walks along the edge of a sunlit path. His shadow follows beside him, longer now than before. Each step is steady, unhurried, and familiar. The path beneath his feet feels warm, holding on to the memory of the sun. Nearby, a woman carries a small basket. Her movements are smooth and practiced. She does not rush. There is no need. The day is still wide, and there is time to complete what must be done. As she walks, the soft sounds of the city surround her. Footsteps, distant voices, the faint shifting of objects. All of it blends together into a quiet, steady presence that fills the air without overwhelming it. In a nearby home, the atmosphere begins to change. The stillness of midday has lifted, and the rooms feel gently alive again. Light enters at a different angle now, touching walls and floors in new ways. It creates soft patterns that move slowly as time passes. Someone opens a small window or doorway. Fresh air enters, carrying with it the subtle scent of the outside world. It is warm, but not heavy. It moves gently through the space, brushing against surfaces, stirring the quiet stillness just enough to bring a sense of renewal. In the courtyard, the light has shifted as well. The open sky above is still bright, but the direct intensity has eased. The pool of water reflects a softer glow now, and its surface shows faint ripples as the air moves across it. This is a time of quiet preparation, not in a hurried way, but in a natural and gradual sense. People begin to think of the evening, even if only unconsciously. Small tasks are completed, items are gathered, spaces are adjusted for the coming night. But all of this happens slowly, without pressure, without urgency. Back in the streets, the market begins to change again. It is not closing yet, but there is a gentle shift in energy. Some goods have been sold, others remain. The arrangement of items looks slightly different now, shaped by the passing of the day. A vendor rearranges what is left. The movement is calm and thoughtful. There is no frustration, no rush to finish, only the quiet act of putting things in order. A few people continue to pass through, making their final selections. Their steps are slower now, more relaxed, as if the day itself is encouraging them to move gently. The sounds of the market soften. They do not disappear, but they become less frequent. Each voice, each movement stands out a little more clearly in the growing calm. Further along, the wider streets begin to take on a different feeling. The light stretches across them in long bands, creating patterns of brightness and shadow that shift slowly as the sun lowers. The buildings cast deeper shade now, offering cool spaces where people pause for a moment before continuing on. Some sit quietly along the edges, resting, observing, letting time pass without thought. This is a peaceful part of the day, a space between the fullness of afternoon and the quiet of evening. In one area, a small group gathers. Their voices are soft, their movements relaxed. They are not in a hurry to leave, nor are they focused on any urgent task. They simply exist together in the gentle flow of time. Their conversation, if it can be called that, is calm and unbroken. Words come and go. Pauses are long and comfortable. Silence is not empty here. It is part of the rhythm. As the sun continues its slow descent, the color of the light begins to change. It becomes warmer, softer. A gentle golden tone spreads across the city, touching every surface with a quiet glow. The stone walls seem to hold this light, reflecting it back in muted shades. The streets take on a warmer color, and even the air itself feels slightly different, as if it carries a softness that was not there before. This is the early arrival of evening. Not yet night, not even close, but the first quiet signs that the day is beginning to rest. In homes across the city, small preparations continue. Food may be arranged, spaces may be adjusted.
Simple routines unfold, each one familiar, each one repeated day after day. There is comfort in these actions, a sense of grounding, of returning to something known. Outside, the movement continues, but it is gentler now. Fewer people pass by. Those who do move slowly, as if guided by the fading light. The sounds of the city begin to thin. They do not vanish, but they become softer, more spaced out, leaving room for the quiet to grow. And in this growing quiet, the day begins its slow and peaceful transition toward night.
The golden light of late afternoon deepens slowly. It does not fade all at once. Instead, it softens, spreading gently across the city like a quiet blanket. The warmth of the sun lingers, but it no longer feels strong. It feels calm, almost distant, as if the day itself is beginning to rest. Shadows stretch longer now. They reach across the streets, along the walls and into doorways, creating soft patterns that move so slowly they almost seem still. The shapes of buildings become more defined in this light, their edges softened by the warm glow that touches them. The city begins to feel quieter, not empty, but quieter. The steady movement of the afternoon has eased, and in its place is a gentle slowing. People continue their routines, but each action feels softer, less urgent, as if guided by the fading light. A man walks home along a familiar path. His steps are slow and even. The ground beneath him still holds warmth, but the air around him has begun to cool slightly. He passes others along the way, each moving in their own quiet rhythm, sharing the same gentle return. There are no loud greetings, only small acknowledgments, a glance, a nod, a quiet understanding. This is a time of returning. Across the city, people begin to make their way back to their homes, not all at once, and not in any rush. It happens gradually, like the light itself fading piece by piece. In the market, the final moments of the day unfold. Some stalls begin to close. Items are gathered carefully, placed into containers, covered or carried away. The movements are calm and practiced. Nothing is done quickly. Each action follows a familiar pattern, repeated day after day. A vendor pauses for a moment before finishing. They look out over the slowly emptying space. There is no concern, no sense of loss, only the quiet awareness that the day has passed and that another will come. Nearby, a few late visitors move through the remaining stalls. Their steps are slow, their voices are soft. The energy here has shifted completely now, from the gentle activity of the morning to a peaceful winding down. As the market settles, the surrounding streets begin to quiet as well. The sounds that filled the day begin to fade. Footsteps become less frequent. Voices grow softer. Even the distant movements of carts and tools begin to disappear into the background. In their place, a calm stillness slowly returns. Not the deep stillness of night, but something lighter, a quiet pause between day and evening. In one home, the evening begins with simple preparation. A small flame is lit. It flickers gently, casting a soft glow against the walls. The light moves slightly, shifting with the air, creating patterns that feel alive but never restless. Food is arranged, nothing elaborate, nothing rushed, just the quiet act of preparing a meal as it has always been done. The sounds here are soft and close, the gentle movement of hands, the faint clink of pottery, the low murmur of voices, if there are voices at all. This is a private calm,
different from the open quiet of the streets. Outside, the sky begins to change. The bright blue fades slowly, giving way to softer colors. Hints of gold deepen into shades of orange and red, spreading gently across the horizon. The light becomes warmer, but also dimmer, as if it is slowly stepping away. The city reflects this change. Stone walls take on deeper tones. Shadows blend together, losing their sharp edges. Everything feels softer, more blended, more at rest. A few people linger outside. They stand or sit quietly, watching the sky as it changes. There is no need to speak. The moment itself is enough. The air is cooler now. It moves gently through the streets, carrying away the last warmth of the day. It touches the skin lightly, bringing a sense of calm and ease. As the sun lowers further, the light becomes even softer. It no longer reaches into every corner. Some areas begin to dim, falling into early shadow. Others still hold the last glow, creating a gentle contrast across the city. This is the quiet approach of evening, a time when everything begins to slow, not just in movement, but in feeling. The day is no longer unfolding, it is settling. In homes across the city, small lights begin to appear, one by one, a flame here, another there, each one soft and steady, adding to the growing sense of warmth within the darkness. From the outside, these lights create a gentle pattern, scattered across the city like small, steady stars. Inside, they bring comfort. They replace the fading daylight with a quieter, more intimate glow. People gather near these lights. They sit, they rest, they share the final moments of the day in calm and familiar ways. The sounds are softer now than at any other time. Voices are low, movements are slow. Even the smallest actions seem to carry a sense of completion. As the last light of the sun begins to slip away, the sky deepens. The warm colors fade into cooler tones. The first hints of night appear, not suddenly, but gently, as everything else has changed throughout the day. And in this soft transition, the city prepares itself for rest. The final light of the day fades gently from the sky. It does not disappear all at once. It lingers for a while, soft and quiet, resting along the edges of rooftops and distant walls. The warm tones of evening slowly give way to cooler shades, and the brightness of the world begins to soften into something dim and calm. Night approaches slowly in ancient Rome. There is no sudden darkness, only a gradual dimming, a peaceful lowering of light that allows the city to settle into stillness. The sky above deepens. Faint traces of color remain near the horizon, but they grow softer with each passing moment. The first stars begin to appear, small and steady, barely noticeable at first, but always present. The air has changed. It feels cooler now, lighter. It moves gently through the streets, carrying with it the quiet of the coming night. In the city, the rhythm of life slows even further. Most people have returned to their homes. The streets, once filled with soft movement, now hold long stretches of quiet space. A few figures remain outside, walking slowly, finishing the last parts of their day. Their footsteps echo lightly against the stone. Each step is clear in the stillness, then fades as they move further away. There is no rush to be anywhere. The day has ended. Everything that needed to be done has been done. In one home, A small flame flickers steadily. Its light is soft, casting gentle shadows that move along the walls. The room feels warm and calm, protected from the quiet darkness outside. People sit nearby. Their movements are slow, almost at rest. There may be soft conversation, or perhaps only silence. Both feel natural here. There is no need to fill the space with sound. The day has already spoken. Now there is only quiet. A simple meal may still be shared. The act is unhurried. Each movement is gentle. Each moment stretches softly into the next. There is comfort in this repetition, in the familiar pattern of ending the day in the same way it has always ended. Outside, more lights appear, small points of flame visible through doorways or windows. They do not brighten the streets, but they offer a sense of presence, a reminder that life continues quietly within each home. The streets themselves grow darker. The details that were once clear in daylight begin to fade. Shapes become softer, less defined. The edges of buildings blend into the night, leaving only faint outlines where light touches them. A gentle silence settles in. It is not complete silence. There are still sounds, but they are few. A distant voice, carried softly through the air. The quiet closing of a door. The faint movement of someone passing by. Each sound stands alone, clear and brief, before fading back into stillness. The city feels at rest, not asleep yet, but close to it. In some areas, a soft breeze moves through narrow streets. It passes between walls, around corners, and through open spaces, carrying with it the coolness of night. It touches everything lightly, never lingering, always moving on. This gentle motion is one of the few things that continues without pause. Everything else slows. Everything else settles. In another home, someone prepares to sleep. The small flame that once lit the room is lowered or extinguished. The light fades, leaving only darkness, soft and complete. The space feels different now, quieter, deeper. The body rests. The mind begins to drift. Outside, the sky is now fully dark. The stars are clearer, spread across the wide expanse above the city. They shine steadily, unchanged, offering a quiet sense of continuity that stretches far beyond the small, quiet lives below. The moon may rise slowly, casting a faint, pale light across the rooftops. It does not illuminate everything, only touches here and there. A wall, a street, a quiet corner where nothing moves. This light is softer than the sun, cooler, more distant. It belongs to the night. As time passes, the city becomes even quieter. Fewer people remain awake. Fewer sounds break the stillness. The streets are mostly empty now, holding only shadows and faint traces of light. Inside the homes, rest takes over. Breathing slows. Movements stop. The steady rhythm of sleep begins. This is the deepest calm of the day, a time when everything pauses, when the world, for a little while, simply exists without motion. The air is still. The light is low. The sounds are almost gone. And in this quiet, ancient Rome rests, not forever, just for a while. Because slowly, without being noticed, time will continue to move. The night will pass. The sky will begin to change again. And somewhere in the distance, The first light of a new day will return just as softly as it did before.
The night remains still for a long, quiet while. Nothing changes quickly. Time moves, but it feels almost unnoticeable, like a slow breath that rises and falls without sound. The city rests beneath the wide, dark sky, held in a calm that feels deep and steady. The air is cool. It drifts softly through the empty streets, touching stone and wood, slipping through small openings, moving gently across sleeping spaces. There is no urgency in it. It carries nothing sharp, nothing sudden, only a quiet sense of continuation. Above, the stars remain. They do not move in a way that can be seen. They simply exist, steady and distant, watching over the silent city below. The moon, if it is present, casts its pale light in soft patches, leaving much of the city in shadow. Everything feels slower at night. Even time itself seems to stretch. Inside the homes, sleep has settled fully. Bodies are still. Breathing is slow and even. The small movements of the day have come to rest, replaced by a quiet rhythm that continues without thought. This is the deepest part of the night, a space where nothing is expected, nothing is required, only rest. And yet, even here, the world is not completely still. There are small, gentle signs of life, a faint shifting in sleep, the soft sound of fabric moving, the quiet creak of wood as the night air passes through. Each sound is brief, almost disappearing as soon as it begins, but they are there, subtle, calm, part of the quiet rhythm of the night. As time continues, something begins to change, very slowly, so slowly that it is easy to miss. The darkness softens just slightly, not enough to be called light, but enough to feel different. The sky, once deep and full, begins to lose a small part of its darkness. The stars remain, but they seem less sharp, less defined. This is the earliest sign of morning. It does not arrive suddenly. It begins as a feeling, a quiet shift in the air, a gentle lifting of the darkness. The city still sleeps. Nothing stirs yet, but the change has begun. The horizon, far in the distance, holds the faintest hint of something new, a soft, almost invisible glow that slowly begins to spread. It is not bright, it does not call attention to itself, it simply grows. The air changes with it. It becomes slightly lighter, carrying a softness that was not there before. The coolness remains, but it feels less deep, less heavy. In one home, a small movement breaks the stillness. Someone shifts slightly in their sleep, not fully awake, just enough to sense the change. This is how morning returns in ancient Rome, quietly, gently, without interruption. The sky continues to lighten, very slowly. The stars fade, one by one, blending into the growing brightness. The moon, if it lingers, becomes pale and distant, slowly losing its place in the sky. The city is still at rest, but it is no longer the deep night. It is something in between, a quiet space where night is ending and day has not yet begun. In the streets, the shapes of buildings begin to return. At first, they are only outlines, soft and unclear. But as the light grows, they become more defined. Walls, doorways, and paths slowly emerge from the darkness, taking on form once again. The air moves gently. It carries with it the first subtle sounds of the waking world. A distant bird, a faint stirring from within a home, the quiet beginning of movement. Inside one small room, a figure begins to wake. The change is slow. Eyes open slightly, the body shifts, adjusting to the cool air and the soft return of light. There is no rush to arise, only a quiet awareness that the day is beginning again. This moment is peaceful,
a soft space between sleep and waking. The room is dim, but no longer dark. The shapes within it are visible now, touched by the early light that slips through a small opening. The air feels fresh, still calm, still quiet. Outside, the city remains mostly still, but the change continues. Light spreads a little further. The sky becomes softer, brighter, carrying pale tones that gently replace the darkness. Another door opens, a soft sound, barely noticeable, but it marks the beginning. A person steps outside, moving slowly, adjusting to the early hour. The street is quiet, almost empty, but no longer asleep. This is the return of morning, again, just as it was before, just as it will be again. The cycle continues, always steady, always calm. As more light fills the city, more small movements begin to appear. Another person wakes, another step is taken, another door opens quietly. Each action is simple, familiar, unhurried. The sounds begin to gather just slightly, still soft, still spaced apart, but present. The city is waking once more, and just like the day before, it begins in stillness, in quiet, in a slow and gentle return to life.
The early morning continues to unfold, slowly and gently. The light, once faint and distant, now spreads more fully across the city. It touches the tops of buildings first, then moves downward, reaching the walls, the doorways, and finally the streets below. Nothing changes suddenly. Everything arrives in soft stages. The sky has taken on a pale, quiet brightness. The deeper shades of night are gone now, replaced by a calm, even light that feels steady and reassuring. The air is still cool. It carries a freshness that belongs only to this time of day. It moves lightly through the streets, brushing against stone and wood, slipping through open spaces and entering homes where the day has just begun. The city is no longer asleep, but it is not fully awake yet. It exists in a gentle in-between. In one home, a family begins to stir. The first movements are small, a shift on a bed, a quiet breath, the soft sound of someone sitting up, taking a moment before beginning the day. There is no rush. There is always time for this slow beginning. A faint light enters the room, growing gradually as the moments pass. It reveals simple surroundings, plain walls worn smooth over time, a small table, a few carefully placed items, each with its purpose. Nothing unnecessary, nothing excessive, only what is needed. The person rises slowly. Their feet touch the floor, still cool from the night. The air feels gentle against the skin, neither too warm nor too cold. They move quietly, mindful of the stillness that remains in the home. In another part of the house, someone else begins to wake. The same slow process, the same calm rhythm. Each person moving into the day in their own time, yet all following the same quiet pattern. Outside, the streets begin to fill again, not quickly, not all at once, but little by little. A door opens here, another there. Footsteps appear, soft and steady, echoing lightly against the stone. A figure walks along a narrow path, their pace unhurried. The morning light falls gently across their shoulders, creating a soft outline as they move. Nearby, another person steps outside, carrying a container. They walk toward a familiar place, guided by routine rather than thought. The path is known, the movement is simple. These actions repeat each day,
and in their repetition they bring a sense of calm, a sense of order. The sounds of the city begin to return. At first they are quiet and spaced apart. A step, a soft voice, the faint movement of an object being set down or lifted. Each sound is clear in the morning air, standing alone before fading into the background. As more people wake, these sounds begin to overlap slightly. They form a gentle layer of activity, never loud, never overwhelming, just present. In a nearby courtyard, the morning light falls into the open space. It touches the surface of a small pool, creating a soft reflection of the sky above. The water is still, disturbed only by the faintest movement of air. Someone passes through this space. Their steps are light. The moment is quiet. The day is beginning again. In the streets, the first small signs of daily work appear. A shop door opens slowly. The sound is soft, almost blending into the morning air. Inside, someone begins to arrange items. The actions are careful and practiced. Each object is placed with quiet attention, not for display, but for readiness. Nearby, a broom moves across the ground, back and forth, back and forth. The sound is gentle, rhythmic, almost soothing in its repetition. This is how the city prepares itself, not with noise or urgency, but with steady, familiar motion. Further along, a wider street begins to show more activity. A few more people pass by, each moving at their own pace, yet somehow connected by the shared rhythm of the morning. There is no crowd, no rush, only a gradual gathering of movement. The light continues to grow stronger. It fills the spaces between buildings, reaches into corners that were once shadowed, and warms the ground beneath each step. The coolness of the night begins to fade. The air softens. The day settles in. A woman pauses near the edge of the street. She adjusts something she carries, then continues on her way. Her steps are calm, her pace steady. There is no need to hurry. Everything will happen in its time. In the distance, the faint sound of water can be heard again. It flows quietly, a constant presence in the life of the city. People move toward it, gather from it, and carry it back into their homes. This simple act repeats each day, unchanged, reliable. As the morning deepens, the city becomes more fully awake. But it never loses its calm. The sounds are still soft, the movements still measured. Even as more people step into the streets, the feeling remains the same, peaceful, steady, unhurried. The sun rises higher, and the shadows begin to shorten once more. The cycle continues, just as it did before, just as it will again. And within this gentle repetition, life in ancient Rome moves forward, one quiet moment at a time.
The morning settles more fully into the city now. The gentle beginning has passed, and in its place is a steady, quiet rhythm that carries everything forward. The light is stronger, but still soft. It rests on the streets and walls without harshness, spreading evenly as the sun continues its slow rise. The air has warmed slightly. The cool edge of early morning is fading, replaced by a calm, comfortable warmth that lingers gently against the skin. It is not heavy, it does not press, it simply exists like a quiet companion to the day. In the streets, the movement has become more continuous. People walk along familiar paths, their steps forming a soft, steady pattern. Each movement blends into the next, creating a rhythm that feels natural and unforced. There is no sense of urgency, only continuation.
In one part of the city, a modest home opens onto the street. The doorway is simple, worn smooth by years of use. Inside, the space is small but carefully arranged. Each item has its place, each surface shows the quiet marks of daily life. A figure moves within this space. Their actions are slow and practiced. They adjust a small object, then move to another task, each step flowing naturally into the next. There is no pause to think, no need to plan. The routine is familiar, repeated so many times that it feels almost effortless. A faint light enters from the doorway, casting soft shapes across the floor. Dust moves gently in the air, visible only for a moment before disappearing again. The stillness inside the home is different from the stillness of night. It is awake, present, calm. Outside, the sounds of the city continue to build, but only slightly. A few more voices can be heard now. Soft exchanges between people passing by. Simple greetings, quiet words that do not travel far. A vendor arranges goods at a small stall. The items are placed carefully, one by one. There is no rush to complete the task. Each movement is deliberate, almost thoughtful, as if the act itself holds its own quiet importance. Nearby, someone pauses to look. They do not speak immediately. They simply observe, taking in what is before them. This moment, like many others, is unhurried. Time stretches gently around it. Further along, a wider street begins to show more life. People move in both directions, passing one another with quiet ease. There is no crowding, no pushing. Each person finds their path naturally, without disruption. The ground beneath their feet carries the memory of countless steps. It feels steady, familiar, reliable. A cart moves slowly in the distance. Its sound is soft, a low and steady rhythm that blends into the background. It does not dominate the space. It simply adds another layer to the quiet music of the morning. In a nearby courtyard, light fills the open space. It reflects off a small pool of water, creating gentle patterns that shift with the slightest movement. The air here is calm, touched by both light and shade, balanced in a way that feels peaceful. Someone passes through, carrying a simple object. Their steps are light, their presence brief, and then the space is still again. This is how moments pass in ancient Rome. They arrive quietly. They exist for a time, and then they fade, making room for the next. Back in the streets, the sun continues its slow climb. The shadows shorten further, drawing closer to the objects that cast them. The contrast between light and shade becomes softer, more blended, as the brightness spreads evenly across the city. The warmth increases, but only gently. It settles into the stone, into the walls, into the very air itself. People continue their routines. Some move with purpose, heading toward tasks that are part of their daily lives. Others move more slowly, pausing often, allowing time to unfold around them. There is no single pace, yet everything feels connected, a shared rhythm, unspoken but understood. In one small shop, a person begins their work for the day. The space is quiet, filled with simple tools and materials. Light enters from the front, illuminating the area where they sit. Their hands move steadily. Each action is repeated again and again, with quiet focus. The sound of their work is soft, almost rhythmic, blending into the calm atmosphere. There is no distraction here, only the steady flow of movement. Nearby, another person prepares a simple meal. The process is slow, careful. There is no rush to finish. Each step is part of the rhythm of the day, just as important as any other. The faint scent of food begins to drift through the air. It is subtle, warm, comforting. It mixes with the other gentle elements of the city, becoming part of the background without standing out. As the morning continues, the city feels more complete, fully awake, but still calm. The sounds are layered now, yet they never become overwhelming. They remain soft, measured, balanced. The light is steady, the air is warm, and life moves forward in its quiet, familiar way. There is no need for change, no need for anything beyond what already exists. Because in this steady repetition, there is comfort, and in that comfort, there is peace.
The morning deepens gradually. The light grows fuller now, spilling across rooftops and streets, filling every open space with gentle warmth. Shadows are short but soft. There is no harshness here, only quiet contrast that makes each surface appear a little richer, a little more alive. The air is calm, carrying a faint warmth and a soft hint of the day to come. It moves slowly, brushing along the walls, slipping into homes through open doors and windows, touching everything lightly. Inside one modest home, the quiet rhythms of daily life continue. The family moves carefully through the rooms, each step measured. The small sounds they make blend seamlessly into the morning. A soft shuffle of feet, a gentle sigh, the faint movement of cloth. In the kitchen area, someone begins arranging simple food for the day. Olive oil, a few slices of bread, perhaps some fruit or cheese. Each item is handled deliberately, placed with care. There is no rush, there is no urgency, just the familiar comfort of preparation. Nearby, a small child stirs, not fully awake, not fully asleep. A soft breath, a gentle stretch, the small movements of a body adjusting to the new light. There is warmth in this, a quiet, safe rhythm that repeats itself each day. Outside, the streets of the city are alive in a gentle way. A few figures walk along narrow paths. Their steps are steady and measured, never hurried. The stones beneath their feet are worn smooth from countless years of movement, yet they hold a quiet resistance, a stable memory of all those who came before. A vendor sets up a small stall. The items, fruits, vegetables, simple cloth, are arranged carefully. Each piece is placed in a deliberate order, a rhythm of organization that mirrors the rhythm of the city itself. The faint sounds of cloth moving, goods being adjusted, the subtle shuffle of feet create a soft, layered melody of morning activity. Nearby, a man carries water from a small fountain. The movement is calm and repetitive. The water sloshes quietly within a vessel, but the sound is comforting, almost musical. It blends with the other soft noises, the distant calls of birds, the muted conversation of early risers, the gentle rustle of leaves in a light breeze. The city is not noisy, it is steady. Every sound has its place. Every movement is part of a slow, unbroken flow that has existed for generations. In another courtyard, light spills across a small pool. The water reflects the sky in subtle patterns, shifting with the faintest breeze. A person steps lightly near the edge, perhaps to wash hands or collect water. Their movements are careful, deliberate, unhurried. Each gesture flows naturally into the next. This is the essence of daily life. Simple, repetitive, calm. Every home, every street, every courtyard follows this rhythm. The world feels safe here, predictable, gentle. A baker begins kneading dough in a small open space. Hands move slowly,
pressing, folding, repeating. The smell of flour and water drifts lightly through the air. The sound is soft but steady, a reassuring pattern. At the same time, a woman in a nearby home arranges flowers in a small vase. She adjusts each bloom carefully, creating balance and order. There is no hurry, no pressure, just the quiet satisfaction of tending to beauty in a gentle, patient way. In the streets, the light continues to spread. Every surface, every corner, every open doorway is touched in soft detail. The city itself seems to breathe slowly, in and out, in a rhythm that is invisible but perceptible, felt in the calm flow of activity. A small child plays quietly near a doorway, perhaps moving pebbles, perhaps tracing shapes in the dust. The movements are slow, deliberate. The sounds, tiny, fleeting, rhythmic, become part of the texture of the city, blending seamlessly with other morning noises. Even the animals move in gentle time. Dogs stretch in the warmth of early sunlight. Chickens cluck softly, moving through open spaces. Birds sing faint melodies, carrying across the streets, reaching distant corners where light has not yet fully arrived. All of these moments layer together, one after another, softly, calmly, unhurried. This is how the late morning begins. It is not loud, it is not urgent, it is not demanding. It simply exists. And within this slow, unfolding rhythm, life continues naturally, gently, peacefully.
The late morning stretches onward, slowly blending into early afternoon. The sun climbs higher now, but its warmth remains gentle rather than harsh. Light spills evenly across rooftops and streets, touching walls, cobblestones, and doorways with a steady, soft presence. Shadows shrink, but their edges remain soft, curving around corners and doorways in smooth, calm lines. The air has shifted slightly. It carries the warmth of the sun now, mingled with the lingering coolness of the morning. It moves quietly through open streets and courtyards, stirring dust in tiny, gentle spirals. The breeze is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet it brings a sense of freshness and continuation to the day. In the homes, daily tasks unfold quietly. A woman prepares a simple meal for her family. The sound of chopping is soft, measured, deliberate. Each slice of fruit or vegetable falls gently onto a wooden surface. No sudden movements, no abrupt sounds. The rhythm is steady, soothing, almost hypnotic in its predictability. Nearby, someone arranges small containers of water and oil. Each vessel is set carefully in its place, lined up, balanced. The faint clinking of ceramic is barely audible, but adds to the calm harmony of the room. Children, if awake, move gently around the space. Perhaps they carry small items. Perhaps they adjust bedding. Perhaps they simply watch the sunlight shift across the floor. Their movements are slow, natural, unhurried. Outside, the streets of the city carry a quiet rhythm of their own. A few people walk deliberately along familiar paths. Their steps are measured and soft. The stone beneath their feet has been worn smooth by countless years of passage, yet each footfall produces a gentle, resonant sound that blends seamlessly into the morning's quiet music. Vendors tend to their stalls. Goods are arranged neatly: fruits, vegetables, simple cloth, small containers of oil and honey. Each item is adjusted with care. The motion is repetitive, calm, a kind of quiet choreography repeated daily. A man carries water from a nearby fountain. The vessel is heavy, but he moves steadily, deliberately, carefully balancing it as he walks. The faint slosh of water is almost musical in its soft regularity, echoing lightly against nearby walls.
Animals also move gently through the city. Dogs stretch and wander, their soft paws touching the warm stone. Chickens peck quietly at scattered grains. Birds sing with soft, melodic calls, floating through the air, adding subtle layers of sound to the calm atmosphere. In courtyards and small open spaces, light shifts gradually. Pools of water reflect the sky in soft, moving patterns. Leaves on trees sway with the quiet breeze. Dust rises and falls in gentle motes, catching the sunlight just enough to be visible before settling again. Each movement is small, each sound is subtle, yet together they form a slow, soothing rhythm that fills the city with a steady, unhurried life. In homes, small tasks continue. Someone tends to food storage, moving jars and baskets with calm deliberation. Another checks a small lamp or adjusts bedding. The motions are familiar, repeated daily, and comforting in their predictability. In the wider streets, the city is waking more fully. More steps echo against the cobblestones. More voices carry, though still soft. Greetings are exchanged quietly, smiles given gently. Every motion, every sound remains deliberate and unhurried. The sun continues to climb, touching the tops of walls first, and then moving slowly downwards, filling spaces that were shaded only moments before. Light and shadow shift so gradually that it is almost imperceptible, yet the effect is calming, a natural and unbroken flow. People move steadily toward midday routines. Some tend small gardens or planters near doorways. Others carry light bundles along the streets. Each movement is slow, careful, and familiar. Meals are prepared, eaten, and cleaned with quiet attention. Water is carried. Cloth is folded. Small, ordinary tasks are repeated, but they are never rushed. They follow the natural rhythm of the day, flowing from one action to the next. The faint sounds of cooking drift through open windows and doors. The smell of bread baking, herbs, or simple stews reaches quietly into nearby spaces. Nothing overwhelms. Everything is subtle, soft, and part of the calm pattern of the city's life. Even the city itself seems to breathe. The stone buildings, the narrow streets, the open courtyards, they exist together in slow harmony. Shadows stretch and shrink. Light shifts and softens. The air moves in gentle currents. Everything flows steadily, quietly, in the same rhythm that people have followed for generations. This is the heart of daily life in ancient Rome. Simple, quiet, repetitive, and in its repetition there is peace. The early afternoon approaches softly, carrying the warmth of the sun, the gentle rhythm of movement, and the quiet harmony of countless ordinary tasks, all unfolding in a slow, unhurried cadence.
The early afternoon arrives gently. The sun hangs higher in the sky, casting a steady, warm light across rooftops, walls, and open spaces. Its warmth touches stone and wood, softening edges and blending shadows into subtle gradients. The brightness is calm, not harsh, giving everything a quiet clarity. The air is gentle, carrying a warmth that is neither pressing nor heavy. It drifts slowly through the streets, slipping through doorways and open windows, moving across courtyards and along walls, brushing lightly against anyone who pauses to feel it. Inside homes, simple routines unfold. A simple meal may be prepared. Bread is sliced, soft and fragrant. Cheese is set alongside fruit, olives, or other modest foods. Every movement is deliberate, unhurried. Hands move slowly and deliberately, as if aware of the calm rhythm they are creating. A pot simmers quietly on a small hearth.
The sound is soft, steady, almost hypnotic, blending with other subtle noises, the faint scrape of a spoon, the gentle settling of dishes, the slow breath of someone sitting nearby. Children, if awake, engage in quiet play. Their toys are simple. Perhaps they trace shapes in the dust or arrange small stones in patterns. Their movements are calm, careful, and measured, never hurried, never abrupt. Each action blends into the gentle pulse of life in the home. Outside, the city carries on in its slow rhythm. People move steadily along familiar paths. Each step is soft, measured, part of a quiet procession that stretches along streets and alleys. The stones beneath their feet have been worn smooth over centuries, carrying each step as lightly as it lands, then allowing it to fade into silence. Vendors continue their work at small stalls. Fruit, vegetables, olive oil, and simple cloth are arranged and adjusted with care. The motions are repetitive, comforting, and predictable. Soft clinks and muted shuffles add to the gentle symphony of early afternoon. A man carries water slowly from a fountain. Each step is careful, the vessel balanced, water swishing lightly within. The sound is soft and rhythmic, almost musical in its unhurried repetition. Animals move quietly through the city. Dogs wander lazily in the sun, stretching in place before moving on. Chickens peck softly at scattered grains. Birds sing faint melodies, their calls drifting lightly across streets and courtyards. Each sound blends seamlessly into the ambient calm. In courtyards, pools of water reflect the steady sunlight. Ripples form slowly, disturbed only by the lightest touch of wind or the soft passage of someone walking nearby. The movement is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet it contributes to the overall gentle rhythm of the day. Back in the homes, small tasks continue. Containers are cleaned and arranged. Cloth is folded and stored. Tools are checked, repaired if necessary, and returned to their place. Each action is deliberate, careful, and calm. There is no rush, no urgency, only the quiet flow of ordinary life. The streets remain calm but alive. More people walk along, moving toward midday tasks. Their footsteps are steady, blending into the gentle background of sounds. Soft greetings are exchanged, voices low and measured. Each interaction is brief but present, reinforcing the sense of quiet community. The sun shifts slowly, moving across the sky. Light touches different surfaces, revealing textures that were previously hidden in shadow. Walls take on a soft warmth. Stone steps are illuminated with gentle clarity. Leaves sway slightly, casting delicate moving shadows on the ground. Everything flows naturally. Nothing is sudden, nothing demands attention. This is the essence of daily life. Ordinary, simple, repetitive, calm. Even the smallest actions carry their own rhythm. A person sweeping a doorstep, a child arranging stones, a baker kneading dough, a vendor adjusting goods, a woman washing cloth. Each movement forms a soft, steady pattern that contributes to the larger flow of life. The faint aroma of cooking drifts through streets and homes. Bread, cheese, herbs, and simple stews mingle in the air, not overwhelming, but soft and comforting. Each scent blends naturally with the warmth of the sun and the cool remnants of morning air. The city seems to breathe in its slow, steady way. Inhale, exhale, movement, pause, step, stop. A rhythm older than any one person, steady and continuous.
Time passes quietly. The early afternoon continues, stretching forward in gentle, unbroken continuity. Every street, every home, every courtyard holds the same calm pulse. Life in ancient Rome flows slowly, predictably, peacefully. Nothing interrupts the quiet. Nothing forces haste. Only the soft, enduring rhythm of ordinary life.
The mid-afternoon settles over the city gently, softly, without hurry. The sun has moved farther across the sky. Its warmth is steady and constant, touching the tops of buildings first, then gradually moving to walls, streets, and courtyards. The light is golden and calm, casting a slow, even glow across everything. Shadows lengthen, but their edges remain soft and quiet. The air is warm, yet still gentle. It carries a calm weight that rests against skin and stone alike. A faint breeze occasionally stirs, just enough to make leaves sway or dust drift lazily in the sunlight. The movement is slow, almost imperceptible, yet it adds a quiet liveliness to the stillness. In the homes, quiet routines continue. Meals may have been eaten earlier, yet small chores remain. Someone sweeps the floor, the broom moving back and forth steadily. Another arranges small jars, checking the contents, adjusting each carefully. The sound of small movements, wood against stone, fabric brushing against itself, forms a soft, rhythmic background. In kitchens, the hearth continues to provide gentle warmth. Pots simmer slowly. Water moves quietly in vessels. Each sound is muted, part of a delicate harmony that fills the home without disturbing it. Children, if awake, engage in calm play. Their movements are slow and deliberate, pebbles arranged in patterns, small drawings traced in dust. Every action blends into the soft rhythm of life around them. Outside, the streets carry on with steady, measured movement. People walk along familiar paths. Each footstep is soft, careful. Stones beneath their feet are worn smooth, producing a gentle echo that fades immediately. The motion is unhurried, part of the natural cadence of daily life. Vendors continue their quiet work. Goods are arranged carefully. Fruit is shifted slightly. Cloth is adjusted. Every movement is deliberate, forming a quiet pattern repeated countless times before. Each clink of ceramic, each shuffle of feet, each whispered exchange of words is a small, soft thread in the larger rhythm of the city. Water flows steadily from fountains. A man carries it slowly, balancing the weight, each step steady and calm. The faint sloshing blends with the other subtle sounds around him, creating a peaceful auditory landscape. Animals, too, follow the slow rhythm. Dogs stretch or wander lazily in the sun. Chickens move softly across courtyards. Birds sing faint melodies floating over rooftops and streets. Their presence is quiet and unobtrusive, but it adds life to the calm cityscape. In courtyards, sunlight reflects on pools of water, producing slow, gentle movements of light across surrounding walls. Someone may pause to collect water or wash hands. Their motions are smooth, unhurried, blending seamlessly into the overall stillness. Even the streets themselves seem to breathe, a soft pulse of quiet motion, a gentle exchange of energy between people, animals, and buildings. Footsteps, breaths, shuffling of cloth, clinks of pottery, faint conversations, all forming a calm, unbroken flow. The sun continues to drift higher, its light shifting slowly across the city. Corners that were once shadowed are now bathed in warmth. Stone surfaces glimmer subtly. Walls glow with soft, muted color. Every movement, every sound, every gesture
is slow, measured, deliberate. A woman washes cloth near a doorway. The motions are rhythmic, smooth, calm. A basket of items sits nearby, waiting to be sorted. Each fold, each adjustment is part of the natural pattern of life. A baker kneads dough, the soft thump of hands against the mixture, the gentle rising and folding forms its own quiet rhythm. The faint smell of yeast and flour drifts into open streets, mingling with the warmth of the sun and the soft scent of herbs and food from other homes. The city continues to move in this slow, measured way. Nothing is sudden, nothing demands attention. The streets, homes, courtyards, and gardens all participate in a quiet choreography. Every action is part of the larger pattern, every step part of the gentle flow of life. Time passes quietly. The day moves steadily, deliberately, without hurry. The mid-afternoon stretches, calm and unbroken, filling every space with a sense of familiarity, repetition, and peace. This is the rhythm of life in ancient Rome, unchanging, gentle, predictable. And within this rhythm, there is comfort, a soft reassurance that life continues, moment by moment, quietly, peacefully, steadily.